half an hour until you take a lunch break. I see. Nice. The whole I set the thing earlier so that it doesn't rain, and as I came here, it started to rain. Excellent. Welcome to the Netherlands weather. I think I don't mind a little bit of rain. The problem is that we may not get enough people to stop by and talk to us, right? That's the whole point. Hey Martin, can you hear me okay? Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
Yeah.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel? Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Salut. Salut les gars.
Hey, what's your name?
France. Marion.
Say it again, Marian?
Marion.
Okay.
Yeah. Live in France.
So my social experiment is about the relations that we have with animals. Do you have a pet or an animal companion?
Yeah, the cat.
You have a cat?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me something about them?
Loki.
Loki is her name?
Loki. Yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl?
A boy.
A boy. Okay. Okay. Does Loki have something in particular that he likes to do? Like, can you tell me something about his personality?
Oh yes, he's so chill, relax, really roots. Really roots. Really roots.
Okay. Okay. He's chill. How do you feel about him? Do you see him as a member of the family or as an inferior?
No, it's a member de la famille.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if I turn this around, it says animal abuse should be legal. Do you agree?
Sorry?
Animal abuse should be legal.
No.
No?
No.
So would you say it's wrong to abuse animals?
Yes, he's small, he's devil. No abuse the animal. No.
Why
it's
is
a
it wrong?
family.
Why?
Family. Why? But it's human. It's a creature vivant.
What if I get some benefit from abusing them?
It's a benefit for something of the day, for the night. Rassure, for lutte contre la depression aussi.
So
Animal, lutte for the depression, for the maladie mentale, maladie.
are you saying it's good for your depression?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I abuse them, would that if I abuse them and I get benefit from it, is that okay?
Non. C'est. It's hard to translate in French.
Yeah.
Sorry. But no, the animal is good for life. For one day, one human, one pet.
What if they're not pets?
Perroquet, horses, crow.
What if they're not pets?
What?
What if they're not pets?
Tu comprends? What did you?
Not pet, ceux qui n'ont pas,
Ah,
d'animaux.
à ceux qui n'ont pas d'animaux.
Would it
Bah,
be okay to
adopt-
abuse them if they're not pets?
No, adopt animal.
But I don't mean like adopt them, like just an animal somewhere living on their own. Would it be okay to abuse them?
No.
No? No, okay. So how do you feel about the animals that we force into the slaughterhouse for us? The animals that we kill for food, for clothing? Do you think we're abusing them?
No, vegan is good. It's good vegan animals abuse.
Are you vegan?
For it. De plus en plus, comment on dit? De more and more. Yeah.
More and more.
De day and day et tout, là, ça fait tous les 2 months. Mais de moins en moins. No more.
Do you think that while you're not vegan, when you consume animal products, you are abusing animals?
Yes.
Yes.
Produce local, organic, and
abusive, local, and organic,
yes.
right? So do you
Yeah.
think that local and organic means abusive also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're against animal abuse, can you be against animal abuse if you buy animal products?
No McDonald's, no KFC. Tout
Not
ça.
just McDonald's and KFC, whatever. No butter,
Ouais, no butter.
no croissants.
No, vraiment local. Yeah.
Well, local butter still kills and abuses animals, don't they?
very. I'm live in France, and France on respect the local and respect the animal.
How do they respect
Okay.
them if they kill them?
But yeah, yeah, si, yeah. Je
Is it
comprends.
respecting them if they're being killed?
No, no, no. I know respect. I think yeah. In France, la culture, the meat is very important. Vegan, même pas 5% de la population française is vegan. Enfin, contrairement à ici, here, où justement. Donc,
Yeah.
pour nous, quand on quand on veut eat la vegan, it's more difficult in France.
But it's not impossible.
Ce n'est pas impossible, non.
Yeah.
Mais
So
beaucoup
it's
de
expensive.
légumes, it's more expensive. The meat.
It's actually
aussi,
cheaper. There's studies showing that it's cheaper, not more
C'est ça.
expensive.
Yes.
Is rice cheaper? Is rice cheap? Rice.
Chips, c'est quand t'as pas beaucoup, c'est pas beaucoup.
Ah
d'argent,
oui,
peu-
qu'on apprend. Nous, fruit, légumes.
Rice, pasta,
rice.
beans.
Yeah,
So all of
yeah.
these are cheap, right?
Lentilles, c'est ça. Haricots, tout ça.
Yeah.
Beaucoup. En France, are cooking, il y a les légumes et tout. Yeah. Meat, vraiment.
Okay, I'll give you a card because it's difficult. The language barrier is difficult to get over. Here you go. I recommend you watch The Minion. If you scan
Yeah.
this code and go to this website, watch The Minion.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
I watch.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Have a good
Thank
one.
you too.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. No, the language barrier was too horrible. We couldn't understand each other at all. So. Linda says, "Pay me to be vegan." Linda, yes, that would be a dream job, huh? Just go vegan. Stop looking for excuses, says Jackie Boyle. Exactly, Jackie. You are completely on point. What exactly excuse does anybody have for exploiting and slaughtering innocent sentient beings? Nobody has a good enough excuse. Everybody just comes up with, "I like it." Yeah, that's a good enough excuse. It is not. Hey, Mr. Mancakes. Mancakes. Is it mancakes? Manx? Hi. You guys want to try a social experiment? Even if there were no restaurants with vegan options in France, who cares? Eating at a restaurant is no excuse to animal abuse. Exactly. There's no excuse. You don't have to eat at the restaurant. I've been on this discussion thread with somebody on Instagram, and I kept explaining to them that when they buy animal products, they're supporting animal abuse, and they kept saying they're against animal abuse. And at the end, they ended up saying stuff like, "Well, I'm 18. Who cares if you're 18? They don't have enough money to do this, so they can buy everything else, but not the right product." It's insane, you know. When people come by, I try to not mention what I'm going to be talking about, just so that we get some people with the experiment. So if I become a little bit cryptic with my discussions, it's because people are coming by, and I want to get somebody to have conversations with me. You guys want to try a social experiment? I've been vegan for 2 years. It's really easy, says Fat Doggo. It is, yeah. Yo, Morejoy, nice to see you. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I don't even know what people keep complaining about. To be honest, it's... You guys want to try a social experiment? Okay. But the transition is hard, though. I think the transition is only hard if you see it as hard. I think it's just because it's a change that people see it as hard, but it's not necessarily that it is hard. I think that you can just start with replacing literally every product that you normally buy with the plant-based versions of it, and that's already good enough. Mr. Max says cheese was the hardest. Yeah, for most people, that's what they say. You want to try a social experiment? Let's see. I hope enough people stop today. Cheese, yeah, cheese being the hardest. I don't know. I stopped eating cheese before being vegan because cheese is just extremely unhealthy. It's high in saturated fat. It's high in salt a lot of times. So for me, it was easy because I stopped eating cheese for health reasons. So yeah. I'm from North Texas and I eat meat forever, says Shelly Dean. Okay, Shelly Dean, please explain to me. Do you know that behind meat, behind the production of meat, there is inherent animal abuse? There's inherent animal exploitation? Shelly? You guys want to try a social experiment? I see Shelly hasn't responded. Headbutting Bullet says angry losers. I don't know who you're referring to, but I'm in no way angry, so there you go. Lily Evers asks, are you in Holland? Yes, I am in Holland. What about wild game? Do you mean, what about the meat of wild sentient beings? I think wild sentient beings deserve to live and not be killed for something that is optional to you just as much as everybody else, right? If you wouldn't kill a human unless it's absolutely needed, right? Why would you kill an animal? Just because you like it? How is that fair? David Haslam asks me, who is paying you? Well, David Haslam, I have a day job. I'm a software engineer, and the company that I work for is paying me. Right now, sitting on the street and talking to people and trying to discuss animal rights, nobody's paying me for that. But thank you for asking. Humans are omnivores. We didn't choose our nature. Yeah, there you go. Humans are omnivores. I mean, would you be surprised to find out that you can thrive on a plant-based diet? Just because first of all, we're opportunistic omnivores. That means that we ate animal products when we had the occasion. We can thrive on a plant-based diet, and there is absolutely no reason to exploit and slaughter an innocent sentient being, because you can thrive on a plant-based diet. And it's not just about the diet, right? It's about clothes, it's about entertainment, it's about cosmetics, all this kind of stuff. Hi, are you okay being filmed for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course. Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Rim.
Rim, nice to meet you.
R-Y-M.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Chip.
Chip.
I'm
All
Chip.
right.
Sorry, I forgot to mention it. Okay, so Rim, what's your stance on oppression?
Oppression.
Yeah.
Well, oppression, that's a big term.
Yeah.
But obviously...
Are you against it?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
Even if the powerful get some benefit from it?
No.
And
I mean, everybody should... It should be, what's it called? It's a biological term when both benefit from something. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mean like
Both
symbiotic.
symbiotic
yeah,
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but do you think, like in the case of oppression, the oppressed individuals don't choose to be in that situation, right?
No, they don't.
No, the oppressors usually put them in that situation so that
Yeah.
they get some form of benefit. And you're saying you're against it.
Yeah.
Is there a situation like, for example, if the oppressed individuals don't realize that they're oppressed, would that make it moral for you?
No.
No.
That makes it... I feel like every form of oppression isn't moral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in a very culturally, what's it called? Culturally, sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes.
That's okay.
But just like there's a lots of different kinds of people all around me.
Yeah.
And I never felt the need to put one down or put myself up, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It doesn't make you bigger to make someone else feel smaller, I think.
So,
And I think that's what oppression is, and it just feels off.
exactly. So you wouldn't in any way oppress any humans, which I
wouldn't
appreciate.
try. I would try not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the case of systemic oppression, where obviously in the world that we live, there's a lot of systemic oppression that
Yeah.
we maybe participate in without us knowing. Do you think that if we were to find out that we're participating in an oppressive system and we had the option not to, or to
Yeah.
reduce the oppression, do you think we have the moral obligation to do that?
Yes, for sure. And I think that's very important. And I love that, there's so much, definitely like, for example, here in the Netherlands at university, you learn a lot about that. And there's so many different kinds of things to learn now, and it's also, I think it's also very important that and in those educational, through those educational resources, that you can stand up against, you know, even in the Netherlands they speak out about what the Netherlands is doing wrong. It's not like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
any form of what's that called again?
Oppression.
Yeah, you
Okay.
know, I think
So-
I think that's very important. Also, when it comes to systemic racism or whatever, it's in, I mean, it's in every branch of the government and every branch of our social life as well.
So
like AI.
I'll
you
take
know?
it a little bit further. So it's wrong to oppress humans, but let's
Yeah.
imagine this company is working with DNA and they're trying to, whatever it is that they're trying to do, what they accomplish is they splice the DNA they mix the DNA of a dog with a human,
Yeah.
and they make a human, they make, well, a different species.
Yeah.
They look exactly like a human, but they behave exactly like a dog with the intellectual capacity of a dog and everything. Do you think it would be okay to oppress them?
No, because that brings in an ethical question, and I feel like obviously that's a very big thing in the world of science, that you always have the ethical, you know, side of every science experiment that you do, and for like when you're at school, like kids at school, they're not allowed to just do experiments on bugs, for example,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they don't want to.
Yeah, well,
that would be animal cruelty.
Aside from the ethical considerations of
No,
creating
but I
such a
wouldn't know.
species,
I don't think so.
let's say this species was created already, would it be
Yeah.
okay for us to oppress them?
No.
No. Okay. So I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
you are against oppression
Yeah.
regardless of species
Regardless
also.
of everything.
Yeah. So do you think that we, and I'm not trying to catch up with this, I participate in it too, but do you think we're oppressing animals when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for us? For food, for clothing, for
Yes.
entertainment, stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do think there's also something, you know, we are on top of the food chains as humans.
So we have power over them, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's why I think I mean, I eat meat. I do try to eat less meat because I feel like the whole meat industry is quite unethical. I wouldn't say we oppress, like we don't oppress towards animals specifically.
Well,
but-
we are breeding
Yeah.
them to offer
Yeah,
our needs.
true.
We are using them as
Yeah.
objects, and we are killing them when
Yeah.
we can no longer use
True,
them. And
true.
use.
But that's the issue there, you know. And if it's just for financial gain as well, so I feel like there's nothing unethical about eating an animal for food, because if you were in the wild, you would also, you know, not just eat berries. You would maybe like kill a fish and eat it.
But in situations
But
where you would
where
have,
it's
yeah.
in mass production, I feel like all mass production is just kind of.
But do you think the issue is mass production, or do you think because I would say even in a situation where you would have a readily available plant-based options, do you think it would be immoral for you to to choose to kill an animal just because you like the taste of their flesh?
I feel like that's. I wouldn't. Yeah, I feel like it's immoral.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a choice that people have,
But
because we have that power, which
but-
of course is not. That's not right.
And I
but
come
we
back to
do-
this, because
yeah.
I ask, should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
We have power over
No.
animal. We're the powerful. Should we have the right to oppress them?
No, we shouldn't.
No.
But
So then it shouldn't be an option.
then, when we look at, for example, any ecosystem, there's a food chain, and yeah, you can say that the fox has power over the rabbit.
But in
right?
all these situations, the fox kills rabbits not because they want to, but because they have to.
Yeah, because they have
we
to
as
eat it.
humans don't
Yeah.
eat animals because we have to, but rather because we
Yeah.
want to. We have readily available options as plant-based
True.
options, and
Yeah.
we understand the moral
And that's
idea
why,
that
that's why I think it's like so important that there's so much to learn about being a vegetarian or being vegan,
Yeah.
or just eating less meat in general, because I don't think the problem is specifically that we're eating meat, because we've done that for how many thousands of years, but it's mostly the way in which we do it, like putting animals in small little.
So you think killing animals is okay?
I feel like if it's to eat, yeah. but
Using
it's not-
animals for whatever it is that you
Yeah.
want, but it's
yeah,
not.
But I don't think it's good to kill animals for mass production.
Why
like
is it okay to
bags,
kill
leather
animals?
bags.
Why is it okay to kill animals for food, for optional
Yeah.
food, but not for, as you said, for bags?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think any animal should be mass It's just like mass
Not mass
murder.
produced.
Yeah.
Let's say
Yeah.
one animal.
Oh, but like, see,
One
I
individual.
feel like it depends on which situation you're in, because you know we also, right now we have so much faux fur, and a lot of people do wear faux fur. Actually, in my house right now, I have like a cow leather carpet from like 40 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And my roommate, she's vegetarian, and she feels uncomfortable with that because it's real leather.
Yeah, it's somebody's skin.
And that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
But then I also think I didn't just buy it. It's not a newly produced carpet. It's
Yeah.
not. I bought it from 40 years ago. So I think that should be okay. But I think there's so much more attention to it now.
Would
Like
you-
we only have faux fur.
If you were to go into a house
Yeah.
and you would saw that on the ground, there's the skin of humans,
Yeah. I
Who
would feel
knows?
uncomfortable.
Would
But
you
if
feel
it was a
uncomfortable?
human from like 50 years ago,
would you still be okay with it?
I would feel more okay with it. Like if it
More
was
okay.
Like imagine if you were to walk into a factory right now, and you see all these humans getting murdered. Crazy. But that's how I feel about animals too, right?
But you
it's
say that.
insane. Yeah.
You say that, but let me put it this way, because the reality is you say that. You say all this
Yeah.
and you say you're against factory farming, and
Yeah.
it's so easy to throw around these words. But the reality is most of the products you will buy are factory farmed,
Yeah.
number one. Number two, you would think that from the perspective of the victim, it's bad because they're put in small containers,
Yeah.
but actually there's been studies showing that animals in factory farming have similar welfare to animals on small farms.
Yeah.
So the welfare isn't that much better on one or the
Okay,
other.
so you're saying I should just stop. You should just stop eating meat overall.
I think you should stop
yeah.
eating meat
Yeah.
from animals. You can
Yeah.
eat plant-based meat, whatever it is, right? Like, it's not about food. It's about the whole idea of one innocent sentient being is being exploited, it's
Yeah.
being brought to life for the sole purpose of being
Yeah.
killed for you, which is kind of insane if you think about
Yeah.
it. Like, why do we, when you don't even need it,
Yeah.
right? Because
True,
everywhere
true,
in
but that's
nature...
why I think like we live in a, or I don't. Are you from here? Do you live here?
I live here, yeah, I live in
well, I
Amsterdam.
mean, like you live in a very developed country,
Yeah.
and it's great that we have the option to eat vegetarian, and I think a lot more people do that. But for example, if you see what else is going on in the world right now and how we're still exploiting all these people as well, I feel like that does, for me specifically, that does go over my need to protect animals.
I get it,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you should go out of your way and protect animals.
No.
What I'm advocating for is that you're
I think that's
presented
very
with a
interesting, and I think
choice
that's great, and I think
3
it's
times
great
per
that you're
day.
doing this
Let me just
experiment
explain.
as well.
3 times per day, you have this choice. One exploits an animal and one doesn't. You still make that choice.
Yeah.
It's not nobody's forcing you into one
Yeah.
or the other. So you can always choose to not exploit
Yeah,
an innocent
exactly.
animal, right?
That's very true.
And the rest of the day you can spend your time worrying about the world, worrying about
Yeah.
human rights and everything else. But let me also explain one thing, because I think just to make it clear what I mean. For example, do you know anything about dairy industry? Because you kept saying vegetarian, but
No.
vegetarians is just a diet
Dairy,
that
yeah.
where they still
I do
exploit
know
animals.
something about the dairy industry. Well, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
But this is completely different. Do you think that honey is also?
Yeah,
Are you vegetarian? Are you vegan if you
I'm
still eat
vegan.
honey?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I don't eat honey.
Yeah, yeah. But what if it's naturally sourced honey? Would you still eat it then?
No, naturally sourced honey. It still
It's
means
like from your
stealing
back-
from their honey,
Oh,
stealing
okay,
from the
okay.
bees, right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right.
No, I get that. Yeah.
it's-
I can respect that.
I just respect animals. That's all it is, right? And I respect sentient animals, the animals who have the capability of emotions, of feelings, of thoughts, who basically behind the eyes there is somebody.
Yeah.
And most animals are that way, including bees.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go around stealing
No,
what they
okay.
were for. Number one.
Interesting.
Number two, even in farming situations where bees they get during winter they get killed because it's cheaper for them
Yeah.
to do so. Like in reality, all of farming works based on finance. If it's
Yeah.
cheaper to do whatever horrific thing you want to an animal, they will do that one horrific
Yeah.
thing to an animal. So for them, they don't care about animal unless it affects the product. The only reason why there's biological, free range, and all these products who are better for the animals
Yeah.
are for the consumers and are for their profits, nothing more. But coming back to dairy industry, do you know why cows produce milk, for example?
Not specifically. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I know the biological reasons for.
Yeah, they're
cows
mammals.
yeah.
They're mammals.
Yeah.
They have to have babies to produce milk,
Yeah.
just like we do, right? Just like we as humans. So what farmers do is they forcefully impregnate them,
Yeah.
Like
and then they take away the calf.
they
and then
take away the calves, right? And if
then
they're
the
born
calf goes to
male,
the slaughterhouse.
yeah, they get killed. If they're born female, same fate as their mother. Year over year, forceful impregnation. And after 6 to 8 years, when they can no longer be impregnated with ease, it would be too expensive for them to keep them another year until they become in heat again. So then they kill them.
Yeah.
And they can live up to 25 years. So a fraction of their lifespan spent being exploited, having their babies taken from them, suffering, and then being killed. Wouldn't you say that dairy...
That's wrong, right?
That's
That's
wrong,
But
yeah.
imagine, see, that's again with the mass production here. I mean, if
But this
we're
is in
cooking-
small farms also.
I know. But like, if you were, you know, like a little farmer somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and you had a cow, and you are drinking the cow's milk, right? And the cow's calf will drink the milk, and it would be a symbiotic relationship. If you don't kill the cow, then you can drink its milk, I think.
But you can't, that's the thing.
If you were a farmer and you were living on a farm, you had a cow.
But
Would you drink the milk or would you not drink the milk?
this
That would
is-
be my question.
I wouldn't, but this symbiotic relationship that you speak of is non-existent anywhere.
But I'm
because
giving them a livelihood. I'm giving
Yeah.
the cow food,
and I can
No,
see that,
no.
like, if you're
and they're giving me milk.
if you're putting it as a hypothetical scenario where a
Yeah.
farmer, and by a farmer,
And I know we're not in that scenario.
yeah, we're not in that
That's true,
scenario.
that's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
get
want
that.
to
Yeah,
emphasize
no.
that. So,
No,
like,
I get that.
if
Yeah.
a farmer, a person has a cow on their farm, right, on their property, and they treat them just like they would a human being, and that cow decides to get pregnant when they want to get pregnant, and they produce milk, and they feed their babies, and so for some reason they have more milk,
Yeah.
and you want to drink that milk, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
Like, I still think it's kind of seeing animals as resources in a sense.
Yeah.
So in a context where all animals are treated as resources, it's still a little bit wrong. But I don't particularly think that creates some extra harm to the animals.
No, definitely not.
But in most situations, they are forcefully impregnated. I have seen my grandma do that in her
Yeah.
backyard. In most situations, they do take away their babies because they have to sell the milk. Otherwise, it's not profitable. Hell, it's not profitable even as it is
Yeah.
now. They're heavily subsidized. So
And that's why it is for like, that's what I'm saying with like, when it's something becomes profitable, it's usually, to me, it feels wrong already. Because why are you murdering a cow so you can get like an extra dollar?
exactly.
You know?
But if it's
I
wrong,
agree with that.
how
Yeah.
do you, like, if it's wrong, how do you morally justify supporting it? How do you morally justify giving your money to them if you say that it's wrong?
But I don't buy meat at the store. But if it's there, like I'm not gonna condemn my dad for making me a steak, right? Or I'm not gonna not eat it if it's not there. I have to say. But I do think it's important that we're educated about it.
But you're still creating
Yeah.
demand, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because if you eat
And I
that meat
think
that
it's-
your
but
dad
then I
didn't,
think it's important that you educate the people around you and
Yeah.
you show them what choice they have, and that if they do make that choice, that they're gonna have to live with that.
of course,
And I
of
think
course.
that's still important that you can make that choice,
Yeah.
but that you're just aware of what choice you're making.
But
I think that's the most important thing.
I'm just trying to
Because
understand a little bit what your values are, right? Because we started off with saying that you're against oppression and the powerful should not have the right to oppress the powerless. Don't you think that this applies, that means that humans should not farm animals because
Yeah.
we are powerful and we
Yeah.
have the power to do? Doesn't it mean that we should not farm animals?
Yeah, I think so.
So then,
Yeah.
if you think that it is immoral to farm animals, don't you think you're going against your own values and your own moral
True.
beliefs when
Yeah.
you consume animal products?
Yeah, I
Regardless
do.
if you paid for them or not, because you're still, when you're eating them, you're still creating some form of demand because
Yeah.
whoever bought it might need to buy
And
more.
you know what? I do think that. And then when I'm in a restaurant or like whenever someone serves me meat, and I will think about that. But
Yeah.
I go against my
So how many more animals have to be exploited before you make a
Exactly.
change?
I wouldn't know. To
You
be
wouldn't
honest.
know.
No, and I think it's wrong. But I'm not. You know what? I do think I also have to. Might sound a bit cynical, but it's not like I'm gonna change it. And I think it's great that you're over
You're not
here.
going to change the system, you mean?
I'm not gonna change the system.
No, but you know how many animals are killed per year for food?
A lot.
80 to 90 billion
Yeah.
land animals. 80, 90. So, of course, you
But to
as
me,
an
you know
individual,
why? To me, as an individual, it would be a massive win if we got that number down to 50 billion.
yeah, but to
Because
you as
then, I know that's still 50 billion animals, but that's 40 billion less.
exactly.
And to me, that's a big win.
But imagine this, in a number so big, when it's 80 to 90 billion land animals,
Yeah.
if you were to choose to be vegan, for example, you wouldn't be I don't know. People act weird when there's a camera. If you chose,
Cute.
yeah. So if you were to choose, for example, to go vegan, you would be saving up to 100 to 300 animals per year.
Yeah.
So, of course, in that
Yeah.
number, it would still be 80 billion minus
Exactly.
300
Yeah.
animals. But for those, for the whole animal agriculture, it wouldn't make a big dent.
Yeah.
But for those animals that
Exactly.
wouldn't have
No,
to
I
be
think that's
exploited, it
true.
would make a huge
And
difference.
that's why I try to eat less meat.
Yeah.
So if I can, and that's what I'm saying. What
But
you
less
just said,
is the-
vegan. Less is
Less is
not
better.
zero, but less is better.
Yeah.
And I believe
it's
in
less
that, and
worse. Less
yeah.
is less worse.
It's the same as.
It's not
if
better,
we were
it's
to
less
say-
worse.
Yeah, it's less worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's the same as, you know, if I just had this conversation today. If everybody were to pick up maybe like 100 grams of trash per day, how much trash could we clean up as the whole planet?
A lot.
Right? A lot. And I think that's the same. So it's like you see a lot of people not picking up trash or throwing their trash on the floor.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're a vegan, you know, you take on that responsibility of eating less meat, not to compensate for other people eating meat, but more to bring that number down.
But let me
Yeah,
explain,
and I
because
think that's great. But
in
I
your
think it's the same-
hypothetical scenario of
No.
throwing trash, you're either the person who throws the
not
trash,
hypothetical, a lot of people do that.
but you're
Yeah.
either the person throwing the trash,
Yeah.
the person not throwing the trash, or the person picking up the
Yeah.
trash. If you are not vegan, you're the person throwing the trash.
Yeah.
If you're vegan, you're the person not throwing any trash. And if you're an activist like I am, you're the person picking up the trash. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta ask yourself what type of person you want to
Yeah.
be in the end, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you want to be this oppressor towards animals? Do you want to be the one who creates
I feel
torment?
like yes, I throw the trash, but yes, I'm also an activist. So I understand completely where you're coming from, and I think it's very interesting, and I think it's great that you're doing a social experiment.
Yeah.
But I would have to think about it more.
Of
And
course.
I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you how many animals would have
I
to
appreciate
die before
that.
I eat less meat. But
I
I
just
do
urge you-
already eat less meat, and I think it's thank you for
I just want
educating me today.
I
Yeah.
just want one more thing. Do you think that it's more important that we think about it or that we act on it?
No, we act on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
But
so,
before we
so
act on it, we have to think about it.
I appreciate
because
that,
we have
and
to
think
before
about
we
it,
act.
and
Yeah.
please, while you think, try to not consume any animal products,
Yeah.
because you might realize that you don't. It's something that you don't want to be part of,
Yeah.
and once you realize that, I was in that position. And I regret not doing it earlier. So you might be in that position, and you might say, "What the fuck? Why did I take so long?" You know. Let me
Well,
give
thank
you.
you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Let me give you a card to help you. And
Thank you, guys. Guys, be an activist. Love the people, love the planet, guys. Yes. You know what? Have you ever been to Hansa Gietje?
no, I
That's
haven't.
where I work. You should definitely go get a drink there.
I
'Cause
will.
They were already saying, "Oh my gosh, you should go talk to him." So that's why I came to talk to you.
Hey, thanks for coming and talking to me.
Thank
You
you.
have there, I recommend you watch either The Minion or The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear. You
Okay.
just gotta scan this code or go on this
I'll look
website.
it up.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Nice guy, but kind of sad that, you know, when you see people who understand the perspective, who understand that it's wrong, and they still don't want to change, that's kind of sad. I won't lie. This is the eat rich kind of person, but the rich are made of meat. Who is that? I don't believe in any form of violence towards anybody, personally. But if you believe in violence, if you believe violence is ever moral, if your values are that it's okay to be violent towards somebody just because you have power over them, or just because you feel, I don't know, in some way. Mahmoud Ashur says he was a cutie though. Yeah, he was pretty cute, isn't it? Yeah, so if you think that it's okay to be violent towards somebody just because you have power over them, just because you get some form of benefit from it, I don't know. Far be it from me to judge your values, although I'm gonna fucking judge them. I don't think it's fair. Imagine this, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm a pretty big, strong guy. I could probably take a lot of people. I could probably be violent towards a lot of people and win. Would that be a good enough justification for me to do so? No. So how could we ever do that to animals? How could we ever justify that to animals? Come on, show me some logical consistency, people in the chat. Don't just be spouting bullshit that I like meat, I like Big Mac, I like meat. No, come on. Think. That's why I'm here. I'm here to challenge your thoughts a little bit, not just you to say what you like. I understand what you like. I get it. But come on, think a little bit on. Don't just accept. Do you consume vegetables that were grown using mined phosphate? I have no clue. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. No clue. What does that have to do with exploitation of non-human animals? By the way, Jackie Boyle, I think you were the one who donated. I saw it midstream. Thank you so much. That vegan teacher, we support you, Chip. Thank you so much. Jackie, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. I didn't see what you said in there, but I appreciate it. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Where I'm sitting, it's a little bit more noisier. There's also a little bit more people, so hopefully that translates to more people sitting by, but who knows. Ali, I see you timed somebody out. I appreciate it. I appreciate the moderation. I repeat it as I do every time. If you are going to time people out, please time them out for a very good reason. Otherwise, you know, when it comes to people being challenged on their own values and beliefs, they will lash out. Just so expect that. I expect people in the chat who are like, I like meat. I like animals. Animals are objects. We can do whatever we want to them as long as we benefit. Like the people who think that, they need to be challenged. They don't need to be silenced. That's all I'm saying. Oh, if you saw that comment, you'd agree. Okay, Ali, thank you. As I said, just keep that in mind. I trust your judgment. Just please keep that in mind, okay? Mikey Bogro says, haha, vegans. Yeah. Vegans are people who reject animal exploitation. What do you have? Do you think animals are objects? Do you think it's okay to treat animals like objects? Nick, thank you so much for the donation. Super chat. Yeah, animals are food. Okay, so Mickey Bo grows. So you eat dogs, as far as I understand, or you think it's okay to kill dogs for food? Not dogs. Okay. So why is it? What's the morally significant difference? What is it that a dog... Let me put it this way. What is it that a cow doesn't have, that if a dog also didn't have it, it would be okay to kill them? For optional products, as you claim. V. Jamie, that's such a good one. You can't kill an animal that has clothes. So if I find dogs who don't have clothes, in fact, there's a lot of dogs who don't have clothes, would it be okay to kill them? Hi. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yay!
Okay. So I'm gonna turn this around and you guys tell me what you think, okay? It says animal abuse should be legal.
No.
Illegal.
Why?
Because we're animals and you don't want to be abused.
I like that, okay. How would you define abuse?
Not treating them with respect.
I like that too, okay. Is there something specific about animals that makes them worthy of not being abused?
They're super cute.
Because they're alive, they're a creature of this earth.
They're alive, they're creatures, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So are we.
So are we, okay. It's wrong to abuse cats and dogs. What about cows, chickens, pigs?
As well, but you know, we eat them.
Do you think that's a form of abuse?
think it
Yes,
is.
but I don't think it'll ever change.
Because the animals itself can't do anything about it.
Maybe it will never change.
No.
But if I ask you if you're against animal abuse and you say you are against it, but then you go around paying for animals to be abused
Oh shit.
with animal
Oh,
products,
nee, die
do you
komt
see?
terug met
Don't you think there's a contradiction there?
I do.
Go, Sarah.
But you know, I think we have this mindset of being a human, and animals are below us, and we like them, we eat them, they're good, healthy for you, but I don't think it's good.
Okay, but let me put it this way: okay, would you eat dogs?
Yeah. No. Oh. No.
No. Yes or no? I don't know.
No, it's a joke.
So what is the difference between
Chicken.
what is that difference between cows and dogs that justifies killing one for products that are essentially optional to us because we don't need them?
I think
Because we don't know
like
them.
and we don't know.
We don't have
what
a
it tastes
bond
like.
with them. We don't
No,
have
no,
a
but
connection
let's
with
put
them.
it this way. I farm dogs. I bring them to life.
Yeah.
I slash their throat just like I would do to a cow without you knowing. You just see
Yeah.
the meat in the supermarket. Would you eat
Yes.
that?
Probably,
Probably.
if I didn't know.
Okay.
If that was normal.
Okay. So there's no all animals for you are okay to be
Well-
killed for anything.
No, but I would eat it.
Yeah.
If I didn't know better.
What do you
know?
mean if you didn't know better?
Well, now if I go to the supermarket, I always buy the Better Life, you know, the stars. You know, it feels like you did something.
or you
but
did
I-
nothing for the animals though.
No, I didn't. I know
Those
that.
are those
it
are
just
for
feels
the,
better for
yeah,
me.
Yeah, they're for the consumers. Yeah. But like, if you were to go into the supermarket right now and the only meat you found in the supermarket is dog meat, would you buy that?
In need.
In need. So
Yeah.
only if you need it, not if you want it.
Yeah.
So you still have a difference in treatment, right?
Yeah.
So because in the case of cow meat, you would say it's okay to kill them and eat them
Yeah.
even if you don't need it. So what is that difference between them that justifies the difference in treatment?
There isn't.
There isn't.
No.
So then, are you recognizing that you're not being logically consistent
Yeah,
or
of
morally
course.
consistent?
Yeah.
And do you think it's important that we are logically consistent? Because when we're not, we can derive all sorts of weird things.
Yeah,
right?
but we can start saying that about plants, you know, and I understand that's different. But when you think about it, you know, killing everything is wrong.
Yeah, but in an essence, yeah, you're right. Killing anything who has a life is wrong.
Yeah.
But the difference between plants and animals is that animals are somebody. They're,
Yeah.
Behind those
But we
eyes,
don't
there
treat
is
them
somebody.
like somebody. We treat
We
them
don't.
like animals because they can't do anything about it. Because they can talk, they can
Exactly.
like express their emotions to us. We can talk, so we can say like, no, don't do that. But they can't do that.
But let's put it this way: if in the situations of an animal there would be a human being
Yeah.
who can't talk, who can't express what they want to
Yeah,
say, wouldn't
it's-
it be?
it is, yeah.
Wouldn't it be fucked up to do what we do to
Yeah.
them?
It is.
So isn't it fucked up then from the perspective of the cows that they feel that they have? You know, cows are social beings. They wanna have a family. They wanna feel. They wanna love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wrong for us? Isn't it wrong that we
I
do this to
agree.
them? Yeah. So if you agree that it's wrong, what is it that you're not aligning
Because
your
I
actions?
really like fried chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think that?
I think I could live without because I just eat it because like my mom cooks it or something. But
It's easy,
I think
it's
we
known.
humans should like think about it by like what we're eating because like you see a piece of meat but it's actually an animal and yeah I don't think
Yeah.
all people realize that.
Have you ever seen what animals go through? Have you ever
Yeah.
seen slaughterhouse footage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Yeah, and sadly, all animals
why.
end up in the same place. They all end up in the slaughterhouse, huh?
Yeah.
All animals have their throat cut for something that we don't actually need, huh?
Yeah.
So, like, don't you think that we have a responsibility to not put animals in this place?
I
in the
do,
first
but you
place?
know, there's also people that are in those kind of situations. So
Yeah.
the world just needs to be a better place.
I think the
at
world
it
is just
as it
really
is.
fucked up and really
Everything.
selfish.
And the world is fucked up, but
Yeah.
we can't justify doing horrific things ourselves
Yeah.
by saying the world is fucked up, right? Like I can't say the world is fucked up, therefore I will go and rape somebody or kill somebody
Yeah.
because the world is fucked up, because rape happens in the world, because killing happens in the world. So I can't go around
No,
killing
I agree,
animals.
but you know, also the clothes you're wearing, the things
Yeah.
you buy, everything is wrong. The plastic,
yeah,
everything.
yeah. But there is
productions.
the only difference is that even in the case of my clothes or everything else, if I were to have a choice between one cloth that is fucked up, as you say, and one that isn't, one that doesn't exploit humans,
Yeah.
one that does, why would I ever choose the one that exploits humans, right?
Yeah.
So in the same case for food, if we always have the choice between one exploiting an innocent animal and one that doesn't, why would I ever choose the one that exploits an innocent animal? Just because I like the taste of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
think we could like.
Yeah, but we
Be
have to
different.
go. But I agree. Great what you're doing.
Let me just give you a card to
Okay,
help you
yeah.
out. I'll give
I
you
would
2
like to
cards.
have a
Yeah,
card too.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
I recommend you watch either Dominion or The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear. You just gotta scan the QR code or go to the URL here
Yeah.
in the footer.
Watch
Okay.
his movie.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay,
Can I give you a
bye.
card also?
Yeah.
Only if you look into it, yeah? Because
Yes,
otherwise I don't want to
thank you
waste
and
that.
have a
Hey,
nice day.
thank you so much. Bye. Where is this? This is Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Yeah, there were a group of a lot of people. I think 3 of them stopped and still wanted to have conversation. I was having the conversation with the blonde girl, but the girl next to her was actually way more receptive to the whole message, which it kind of happens sometimes. I noticed this, that if you speak to somebody, especially to a friend group, and you talk to one person and you kind of show the ridiculousness of their of their claims, the logical inconsistency in their claims and all that, the other people react a little bit better and they go like, oh, maybe maybe I don't want to be that. So, yeah. The conflation of rape and slavery to eating meat. Yeah, well, Mr. Mike. Oh, here you go. So there you go. We had the person who says that it's ridiculous. Mike Roddick. The conflation of rape and slavery to eating meat. So, Mr. Mike Roddick, let me explain to you something because maybe you aren't aware of it. And that's okay if you're not aware, but please listen and listen carefully. In farming animals, there is systemic rape and systemic killing, and of course slavery, right? Because all of these animals are slaves to us. None of them are free. They're all being used as properties. They're used as objects. They're treated like objects. Like in the case of dairy farms, animals are exploited for their secretions, and the minute they can no longer be exploited, they are killed. They have their babies taken from them. They are forcefully impregnated. Like, don't go. You want to try a social experiment? Oh, it's about our relationship to animals.
Relationship with animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can you come a little bit closer?
Yeah,
What's your name?
Flavia.
Nice to meet you, Flavia.
Nice to meet
Where are you
you.
from? I'm Chip.
Brazil, but I live here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about animals in general?
Pretty good, but I think we humans, we don't respect them as we should.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna ask you, do you think you're respecting animals?
Yes and no, because I still eat meat.
Yeah.
So it's my dilemma at the moment, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you understand that behind eating animal products like meat, there is some inherent animal abuse, some animal exploitation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That wouldn't be respectful towards them, given that we have other options, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is keeping you from never doing that again?
As a Brazilian roots, we eat meat on every meal, so it's like the habit, more the habit of it.
It's part of your culture a little bit also,
Yes,
right? As far as I
yeah.
understand. Do you think that culture or habits are good enough justification to take the life of an innocent animal?
Definitely not. But if we think about like impact on the planet, if you think about like how we devastated forests to get like almond milk, for example, it's still the same impact or even higher. So it's it's a very hard way to define what is best to do. Definitely not justify killing animals and like healthy lives to justify my own survival, because we don't need that.
But let's imagine a scenario where, because I understand your beliefs about the ecosystem, about the environmental footprint of not eating animals,
Yeah.
but I will come back to that. I'll promise you this. But I want to, in a situation where the environmental outcome is the same, do you see any other reason for you ever consuming animal products?
Oh, definitely not.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, would you be surprised to find out that actually on a plant-based diet, you actually support, you have a quarter of your footprint, like for land use,
definitely.
land use is like 4 times less. Water use, I think, is 3 times less, and deforestation is half on plant-based products. And the reason for that is because a lot of the times when we think about animals being grown for food, we don't realize that the animals that are grown for food are actually fed a lot of food themselves. So
Oh,
we have to
definitely,
grow a
yeah.
lot of food. So for example, in Brazil, a lot of the deforestation being done is to grow soy for animal products.
Not just
For
that,
animals,
but yeah,
yeah.
I do know that part as well. So it's like all corrupt in a way.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that we are taking lives for justify our food, that is not okay.
Exactly,
And I
especially when we
definitely
have
have
other
idea
options,
of that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a mindset that needs to change. It's a cultural habit that needs to change, and an awareness that we need to like train every day. It's
Yeah.
like going to the gym. It's like a muscle that we need to train.
Yeah, in a sense,
So-
yeah. But like, and you're right about it. But do you think that we have a moral obligation to not put animals in these situations?
Definitely, but there's a lot of zombies around, right?
Yeah,
So we need
yeah.
to awake those as
Yeah,
well.
that's true, that's
so
true,
it's
that's
one
true.
step at a time.
One step
so
at a time, yeah.
Congratulations for your initiative. It's really
Thank you.
cool.
How many
Yeah.
more animals? And this is the final question. I'll
Yeah?
let you go. How many more animals should be exploited for you before you change?
Sorry?
How many more animals should be exploited and killed for you before you change?
Oh, definitely none.
None.
Definitely none.
You have to
yeah.
go vegan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not vegan per se because cheese is like a big thing.
But do you-
one
do-
step at a time.
Do you know why? Do you know what happens to dairy cows, for example?
I do know.
Do you
I'm
know that they're
aware.
killed also?
Yes.
That they
I
have their
do
babies
know.
killed?
Yeah, I do know.
So what is the difference between dairy cows and normal and meat cows, given that both of them exploit and kill animals?
None of that.
Yeah.
It's just like me as a weak human being not able to like change at once.
So then let me ask you this. Do you think that the only way to be truly against animal abuse, animal exploitation, is to be vegan?
I need more research about that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your experiment. Good luck, success, and happy to meet you.
Okay, let me just clarify.
I really need to
Yeah,
go
and I'll let
now.
you go. So being vegan literally just means being against animal exploitation and abuse. That's it. That's literally vegan. As a consequence, of course, we don't eat animals or any product that exploits or kills them.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you this. Please watch the Minion.
Yeah.
You just have to scan this code or go on this website and see kind of what you're supporting, because a lot of people don't realize what it is. And if you
Cool,
choose that you
thank
don't want to be
you.
part of it, you have several resources to help you out for free, to help you curb the habit.
Lovely.
Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan, and it's all free, and it's all there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Seriously,
you. Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Let's
Bye, guys.
have a nice vegan life, okay?
Bye,
No
thank
more
you.
animals
Bye.
exploited. Bye. If she's against violence, I'm sorry. If she's against violence, she should stop consuming dairy. Exactly. It's Serge. Did you know that PETA made a game about killing animals? I did not know, and I don't think it matters. I'm willing to have a conversation with a vegan with some sort of knowledge of farming. Most vegans don't. Yeah, what are you gonna say? That I mean, there isn't, like, literally, is there any way you can farm an animal without claiming ownership and exploitation of them? Hi.
Hello.
You want to try the social experiment?
Yes.
What's your name?
Virgilio.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Yes, of course.
Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? Hi. So, I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
No,
Why not?
because they're animals and
Okay. Why is it wrong? I would assume you're saying it's wrong to abuse animals.
yeah. It's
Why?
Why? I mean, obviously we kill animals every day to eat,
Yeah.
and that's abuse. You left me without response. Yeah, thinking twice. Yeah, because we abuse animals every day. Actually.
Okay. I didn't even have to do the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
experiment.
I
Okay.
know,
So
I
you
know.
got to this on your own. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're saying abusing animals is wrong. You're saying you're against animal abuse. But do you think you can be against animal abuse when you buy animal products?
It's complicated. I mean, I don't like to see them getting abused, of course,
Yeah.
but I like to eat them. So yeah, it's kind of participating on the animal abuse.
Yeah, because you have alternatives, right? You always have readily available plant-based options. You can choose to.
Yes.
You never have to buy animal products per se. You're not in a situation
The
where
thing
you
is,
have to do it.
I personally defend that we should eat animals, but the industry nowadays, it's just like massacring, like, I don't know how to say in English, it's like really a massacre to the animals, and that's not good, obviously.
But when you say we should eat animals, what you're saying is that one individual, outside of the industry, one individual animal is okay to be killed for something that we don't need.
I'm saying, like, if we go back on the days, like my grandma or my grandparents, they used to have a pork at home. They raise the pork and then they kill to feed all the family. I'm okay with that. Seriously, I'm okay with that. But like putting
So
steroids on an animal, creating the animal all his life in like a fabric to be killed. I mean, that's
Would you be okay if your grandma were to kill dogs?
no.
No. So what's the difference between a dog and a pig that justifies treating them differently? That you're okay with killing one for optional products, but not
For
the other?
me, like in my culture, I don't eat a dog. I eat a pork.
But culture just means I've been told by my parents to do this. I've been told by my peers to do this. That's what culture means, right?
Yes, of course. I know I have to change my mentality. That's what I have from my parents and the way that I was raised and born, of course. But yeah, I know.
But
I know.
morally speaking, right? According to your own values. do you
Yes,
think is there any
but I
difference
know it's
between-
completely wrong. I know
Yeah.
it's like a dog has the same soul than a pig.
Exactly. So in the same sense, when you say people should be allowed to eat meat, do you think that in situations where people have other options, should people be allowed to kill animals and eat them?
No.
No, right.
No, like it's against my way of being raised.
Yeah, it's against your values.
Yeah,
in a sense,
but
right?
the truth is no. Yeah, of course not.
So then let me ask you, because I think your values are in place and it's awesome to hear that and to see that. Do you think that what's important is that we just spout some values, like say what they are, or do you think it's important that we also act on those values?
Of course, it's important that we act, at least have the conscious, that what we are doing and what is the industry doing with the animals, it's completely mind blowing.
It is.
It
It's
is.
fucked
I've
up,
seen
yeah.
lots of videos. I hate to see them, but the truth is, in the end of the day, I'm still going to eat the chicken or the beef or everything. But there's like you said, there's tons of options, and yeah, we and all of us should start at least trying to put like once per day at least to try to, yeah, of course.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I see a form of complacency. You see it as it's a little bit futile because there's so much animal product. It's happened so much, and you don't really you claim your values are one way, but you participate in it because you're a little bit, I don't know, maybe you think you have no choice in the matter, or you don't actually make an impact. Or why is it that? I'm just trying to understand, to bridge the gap between your values and your actions, right?
Okay.
Because your values say one thing and your actions say another.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm
yes.
just trying to understand why that is happening to you.
I'm just caught in the middle of everyone, you know. So yeah, but I actually have a really good friend that I meet past months that she's vegan.
Yeah.
Sometimes vegetarian, and I'm a bit influenced on that, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try and I like, and why should I not put more this in my
Exactly.
diet? Maybe with this, maybe I will start like, you know.
And it's important that we take steps, obviously, in the right direction. But just keep in mind that if you are taking steps and you're not making a change drastically, like saying
It's
"I'm
the
never-"
same, yes.
Yeah, you're still participating.
Of
in
course,
the same
of course.
thing.
I know.
And to that one animal that goes into a slaughterhouse for you, do you think to them it matters that you do it every day or that you did it at one time?
No, it's the same. It's
It's the same. Exactly. Man, you're so open-minded. It blows my mind. But like, you have to, like, you know, I appreciate your open-mindedness. I appreciate your willingness, but you have to also follow through with the actions.
take some
'Cause-
action, just
yeah,
not
'cause
only speak. Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, you know, like if people were like you, we wouldn't have never gotten rid of slavery. Women would have never had rights, because it's not enough to have the values.
The
there.
values and don't make any. I know.
We need to make changes. We need to make actions. Otherwise, individuals will always be exploited and killed for us. The only way the world can be better is if we make it if we live out our own values and try to make it better ourselves, you see what I mean? Like, I'm not saying go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah, I
on
know,
street
I
and
know.
speak up, but the bare minimum would be to not exploit them, you know, to not put them in slaughterhouses.
Yes, yes, you're
See what I
totally
mean?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just ask one hard question, and I'll let you go afterwards. How many more animals should be exploited for you before you make this change?
Exploited.
Yeah, like
Killed?
used as objects, literally, because they're used as objects in animal agriculture.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah. How many do you want? Let me ask you this.
How many do I want to get killed? None of them.
You have to go vegan, man. Have to go. Otherwise, you will be killing animals left and right, and
Yeah. Yes, yes.
you're not a violent person. You seem like an intelligent
No,
person.
I'm not violent at all. Yeah.
no.
No.
No, but we participate in this violent thing, and these industries, you know, they hide all of the violence from us.
Of course,
They
of course.
show us the beautiful side of it. Oh, cows living on a field.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
don't show us the forceful impregnation of cows. They don't show us how they steal their babies.
And I came from an island that cows are actually treated in the grass, and
Yeah.
they don't get killed. It's just only for milk, you know.
They get killed for milk also. Do you know what happens to dairy cows?
No, they don't get killed, man.
Yeah.
No, because it's not a big industry. It's like more homemade, you know.
My
I-
grandma's backyard, I saw it. So why do you think cows produce milk?
How do I?
Why?
Why do I think
Cows produce milk
to the small cows?
to feed the babies.
Yeah, we are the only species on Earth drinking milk after birth and
Yeah.
being no grown-up cow drinks milk from the mom.
Yeah.
No.
But to be honest, I don't really care about that. Like that's just like seeing it as a different perspective, and it's a little bit not normal in nature. But I don't really care about that.
It's the
Yeah.
truth. It's not normal
Yeah.
that we drink milk.
Yeah, but also being vegan is not normal, right? Like if you think about it, normality means that everybody participates in it. Being vegan is not normal because not everybody is vegan, right?
yes.
So just because something is normal or not normal doesn't mean it's good or bad. So I don't really care about that. What I
Okay.
care is about what happens to them, to these individuals. For example, in order for cows to produce milk, as you said, they have to have babies, right? They have to be pregnant.
Yes.
So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them. A lot of the times that's something you don't see as an individual when you go and visit a farm. That means literally a farmer puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix and inject bull semen. Or they,
of course,
they also
yes,
have to
yes.
jerk off a bull for that to happen, which is also messed up. Like all of this is sexual exploitation, it's so inside of it. When the babies are born, what do you think happens to the babies?
They're separated from the mom.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so that they sell their milk. This is already fucked up as well. Like it's messed up to separate the babies from the mother on their first day of life. And if-
you are the one feeding the babies.
Exactly.
With
And-
the milk of the mom, but you are the one giving
Exactly.
the milk. Yeah.
And if they're born male, what do you think happens to them? They don't produce milk.
They get semen from them. Yeah.
Or they get killed.
Yeah.
How much semen do you think they get? You know, like if you see a farm of 20 cows, all of those they get pregnant every year, so they get 20 more cows every year.
Yeah.
So what do you
when
think
they
happens
born
to
male,
those?
it's,
They kill them, right? So if they're female, year over year forceful impregnation, just like their mothers, until 6 to 8 years when they can no longer be impregnated with ease, because you know their bodies, just like our bodies, wasn't made for continuously bringing babies to life.
Yeah.
So
of
after
course.
some time, impregnation doesn't happen so easily. So farmers kill them because it would be too expensive to keep them
to
alive.
keep them. Yeah.
And that happens like a third or a quarter of their lifespan, natural lifespan. And it's pretty sad for them to live a third of their lifespan or a quarter, to have their babies every year taken from them, to suffer all that, and to have their babies killed, to be separated.
Yes.
That's like dairy is just as bad as meat. It's all just as bad. Like all of animal agriculture, everywhere, animals are treated like objects. The minute that they take something from them, whether it's eggs, whether it's milk, whatever it is, and when those animals no longer give, they get killed.
They kill. Yeah, of course.
Nothing in the situation.
Even
of
if they broke a feet, they need to kill them.
everything,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's fucked up because these are individuals who put their trust in the farmer. These are individuals who want to have a social life. They're very much like dogs, like cats, which we see that they get attached to us. They get attached to others, yet we treat them exactly like objects.
Yeah.
And when we as individuals buy animal products, we're literally voting with our money and we're saying farmers, hey, do all of this to animals so that I get my product. And it's very fucked up. If you're against all of it, there's only one way to do it, is to not be part of it. That's the bare minimum you can do if you're against it.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you put all the arguments. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for being open-minded, and please take action. It's, like values, it's only half the battle. Actions is what we need. And I'll just give you a card to help you out with all of this. If you scan this QR code, or go on this website, there's also a website here, so if you scan this QR code or go on this website and type in this code, there's a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, they help you go vegan. It's free.
Okay,
in case you need
they
help.
give you the
You have
diet,
several
okay.
other things, and if there's something cool for you to watch, I recommend you watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. It's still there. You just gotta scan that code, and you'll see it there. It's a
Okay.
really cool speech. It's kind of like what we discussed. We discusses honey and everything, and I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing what you're paying for at the end of the day, and
Yes,
then you
yes.
get to make the choices for yourself. Because I can't police you any further. I can't do anything from you. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I
Thank
appreciate you.
And good luck.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a good one. Yeah, that was pretty intelligent person. I like that. Great conversation. Yeah, exactly. Somebody says KFC, spam is KFC Stokes. Is that all you can say, KFC? Are you a shill for KFC? Is that what you're doing? Hey, how you doing, man?
Again, I don't have time to speak too much, but yeah, nice seeing you.
Okay, nice to see you. Yeah. This was the guy I had the conversation before, yeah. Sensi. Yeah. I am God, I am Jesus, I am Satan. Okay. Hey, that guy again says Benji. Yeah, exactly. Benji, saw him. Vegan farts, basically, yeah. You look like a beta. Yeah, well, you know, I'm a beta who deadlifted 170 kilos today for 5 reps. So, if that's what being a beta means, hell, I'll be a beta. Hell, even if I wouldn't deadlift that much, fuck it, I was just bragging about that. But hell, even if I wouldn't be deadlifting that much, if I couldn't even deadlift anything, if I couldn't lift a single feather, I would rather be a beta every day and not kill innocent sentient beings and live up to my own values and be a decent human being and not be violent asshole towards animals, rather than be an alpha who kills individuals just because he has power over them. No, thank you. You want to try a social experiment? Raiders ask me, is this your job? No, I'm a software engineer by job. This is what I do because I respect animals. Define sentient. Sentience means a capability for subjective experience. Of course, sentient means a lot more than that, but the one thing that I mean that is very important and that I think gives them moral worth is subjective experience. It means there's a somebody behind those eyes. Samsara says, meat is tasty. Your father asks, what do you want to achieve by doing this? Well, your father, first of all, I want to raise awareness that it is extremely violent, that when you buy animal products, you are literally paying for violence. And if you claim that you're not a violent person, then perhaps you shouldn't be paying for this, number one. And number two, I try to talk to people on the streets. I try to get them to see the other perspective. I try to get them to see the perspective of animals. And maybe, you know what, maybe just help them change a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do. Dylan Wilson says, I hunt for my food. Dylan Winsell, maybe you should stop killing innocent sentient beings for something that you don't essentially need. You don't need meat. You don't need animal products. Therefore, killing them even in a situation where you hunt them yourself doesn't make it right. Ethan Moore says, all life has a subjective experience. Ethan Moore, Jesus Christ, not all life has a subjective experience. Plants don't have a subjective experience. Plants are just, they call them automatrons with life. Doesn't really matter. They don't have a central nervous system. They don't have a brain. They don't have a subjective experience. Subjective experience is an emerging property of brains. If they don't have brains, then it cannot possibly have that. And don't give me the health bullshit, people in the chat who are not vegan. Don't give me the health bullshit. You can be at least just as healthy on a plant-based diet. At least. So if you don't believe that, then you're just going against science. So there you go. Animals eat animals. Are you going to cancel a lion for eating a gazelle? Says Cody Jobert. So Cody, yeah, sorry for taunting you, your name, but animals, that's a kind of a silly argument. You know why? Because animals also rape other animals, believe it or not. Lions, which are the animals that you gave as an example, they kill their cubs in order to show dominance in a tribe. Would that be fair thing for humans to do? Would that be fair for a human to kill all the babies of their friends just to show dominance in their friend group? I don't believe it would be, would it? So it doesn't really matter what animals do. What matters is that we know what's right from wrong. We are moral agents, or we're supposed to be. I don't know if you actually are a moral agent. I don't know if you actually think or know what is right, if you can differentiate between right and wrong. But as long as you're a moral agent, you are morally responsible for the actions that you are claiming. And everybody who is not here, I forgot to mention it. You know, how did I forget to mention it? If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I go live, I do these conversations with people on the street, with people in the chat. And if you're enjoying them, might as well subscribe. Why not? Hit that like too, you know. They don't mean anything else other than I get a little bit of a joyful thing, you know. If you hit that subscribe, there's a buzzer in my ass that goes whoop, and I feel it very well. It's nice. Whoop, there you go. Somebody hit subscribe. That would be funny if somebody actually hit subscribe when I said that. Eating my chicken fillet roll and it's delicious. Yeah, so I don't claim that maybe what you're eating is delicious. I have no clue. Maybe it is, you know. It's just I want to ask you, do you think that your taste pleasure justifies the slaughter of an innocent sentient being? Do you think it's okay to kill anybody for pleasure? Oh, I saw another one. Doesn't like 90% of vegans quit within their first 2 years? Nope. That's not true. And even if it were true, who cares? Doesn't mean anything. Wait, let me ask you this. Don't like a large percentage of people who go to the gym quit on their first month of going to the gym? Yes, they do. What does that mean? Does that mean the gym is bad? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that going to the gym is hard? No, it doesn't. It just means people lack discipline. It just means we live in a world where if the world drives you in one direction and you lack discipline, it's going to be maybe a little bit harder to go in that direction, or in a different direction. I saw a video, yeah. The chat goes away too fast for me to read some of the comments. Jack Higgs. Hey, Jack Higgs. Nice to see you here. Emo Strawberry says, dude, you need meat. I doubt it. And by the way, when I go home, I'm gonna eat the absolutely best plant-based meat ever. Oh, I can hardly wait. It's called chicken shawarma, and it's plant-based. No difference. I have had friends who were like, holy shit, I can't tell the difference. And yeah, that's the truth. You can't really tell the difference. So for you to stand here and take the whole life of an innocent sentient being for something that you can't even tell the difference of, it's so insane to me. It's like, it's insane. I never understand why a vegan won't eat real meat, but rather eat imitation meat. Well, I can tell you right now why we eat plant-based meat. Because we don't like the violence towards the animals. We don't like the exploitation. We don't like the abuse. I personally, I don't know if you guys are, but I personally am against animal abuse. If I'm against animal abuse, how could I ever morally justify paying for animal abuse? How? How could I, like, Samsara, you say you're against animal abuse. How could you ever say you're against animal abuse when you go to the store, you pay people, you buy a product that literally gives money to people to abuse animals so that you get that product? How? How is that? How does that work? That's just against your own values. You're going against your own values when you do that. And you could say, well, I don't have any other options if that were to be the case. But most likely that's not the case because you probably have other options. There you go. How would you do it? Imitation plants made in a factory. How would I do it? Whatever works for you, man. You can buy tofu, you can buy tempeh, you can buy plant-based meat, you can buy Beyond Meat, whatever it is. I don't really care, you know, like that's the thing about being vegan. It's not a diet. There is a diet that's a consequence of being vegan. There's a consequence of you respecting animals, of you being against animal abuse, and that is, of course, you not eating them. And as a consequence, there is a diet, but it's not the diet per se. You can eat whatever you want. You can be keto, you can be high protein, you can be high carb, you can be low carb, whatever it is that you want, you can do that on a plant-based diet. Some are easier than others. Yes, of course, it's easier to be high carb than keto on a plant-based diet, but none of them are impossible, so that's all you need. Yeah, plus not to mention, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the amount of tumors that animals get. And like, have you guys ever, like, the people in this chat that eat animal products, have you ever seen how many tumors you actually eat? A lot of the animals in animal, like, I don't even want to go there because it's not about that, but you would be surprised to find out that, I don't know, maybe half of the animals in animal agriculture get tumors because of the selective breeding and because of the environment that they're bred into. Like, all of it, it's just, there's a multitude of factors that gets them to have tumors, to have diseases. So don't think you're actually being healthier by eating animal products. I don't think you are, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so I don't want to broadcast that as facts. The fact is that you can be at least just as healthy on a plant-based diet. That's the fact. So why would you ever choose to exploit or slaughter an innocent animal? If you wouldn't do it to a dog, why do it to a cow? What's the difference between a dog and a cow? It's no difference. To them, they all just want to live. They all just want to, you know, live their life. That's all it is. So you're against hunting? Yes, I'm very much against hunting. Yes. It's very sustainable. Of all the things that hunting is, sustainable it's without a doubt not it. And healthy meat gained from hard work with hours of work. Sure. How about all the... It's funny because, you know, and I've said it last time and I'll say it also this time, everybody who comes in the chat here who says that they're never going to be vegan and all that stuff, everybody just keeps on mentioning either one, the pleasure that they get from animal products, because that's what they all have, pleasure that they get from animal products, or two, actually that's it. Most of the time they just... Hi, you want to try a social experiment?
Yes.
What's your name?
Kristen.
Are you together or?
That's my friend.
Ah, okay. Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay. Can you come a little bit closer? Yeah, nice. What's your name again?
Kristen.
And you?
Melanie.
Melanie. Nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
Nice to meet you.
So my experiment is about our relations to animals.
Okay.
Do you have any animals or pet companions?
My neighbor has a cat that always hang out with me, so that's kind of my pet, I think.
Okay. Do you
It
have?
is at my pet.
I used to have a dog, but not anymore.
Okay. Did you notice anything special about them? Like, do they have a personality? Do they have, I don't know, desires of their own?
Yes. That's the things I like the most about animals. Like you have the opportunity to decipher their personalities.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
To decide.
Decipher.
Because I feel like every breed has their own personality, and you can find it in the same breeds. You can find the same personality or similar personality.
Similar traits, but do
Yeah.
you think that each individual animal has a different personality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think, for example, some breeds have common personalities, but each dogs or each cat or each animal take also a little bit of the personality of the owner.
Yeah, because they learn. Like if I have a girlfriend, if I sit with her, I take her personality because I learn from her, right? It's normal.
I think some animals do too.
Exactly. So, do you think that there's a somebody behind those eyes? Do you think there's an individual who has thoughts, who has desires behind their eyes? That's why I ask if they have a personality, because I'm curious how you see them. Do you see them as a somebody or as something?
I think it depends how you describe personality. even in humans, like what is personality and what is like a culture, like
Yeah.
what behavior is your own and what behavior is like the common practice. So I think with animals, I don't think they have like thoughts and opinion, but I think they have quirks.
A what?
Quirks like special behavior. Like some animals are very hyper, and some are very lazy. Some are very. I know that my ex-boyfriend had a cat that was very angry all the time, like very shy, very angry. So some cats, some animals have distinguished personalities, but not thoughts, I think.
What do you think?
I think it's something in between a personality, like a person and a thing. It's like none of those. It's just, I feel like it's mostly instincts for animals that you can more or less condition and change with how you teach them and how you foster them.
So you can teach them.
Yeah.
So it's not just instinct then.
No, but
Some behavior like comment dire, encourager.
Encouraged.
Encouraged, yes. Like some behavior you can encourage and some less. So you can like condition.
But their instincts never change. So if you're saying that you can teach them to go against some of their instincts, that means they don't behave only on instinct because their instincts never change, right?
No, instinct change.
Say it again.
Instinct can change.
Instinct can change.
Yes. You can learn how to behave.
Instincts are literally something that cannot change or you cannot choose to change because instincts are part of we have this thing called instinct, which is something that we don't control, right? Instinctively something comes.
Yes,
it's something you don't control. So when you control something, it's no longer an instinct.
You control the behavior that the instincts push you towards. You can
Yeah, so that means you control the behavior. That doesn't mean that it's instinct. It means your instinct is telling you one thing and you do another.
Yes.
Yeah. So animals do that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just instinct behavior. They actually do actions based on what you teach them or based on what they want to do, right? Like there's maybe times when they want to do one thing or the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think all animals have that?
Depends on their intellect capacities, I think.
Okay.
It's like the less intellectual animals are more instinct based, and the more intelligence is there, the more they can learn how to behave differently.
Okay. Do you think animals want to love, are social? Do you think animals want to maintain a social relationships maybe with other animals, maybe with other humans?
Depends on the intellectual capacity of the animal, but yes.
What do you?
Same. I think it depends on the animal, but mostly they are social, and you can see like lots of examples of even different types of animal not becoming friends, but getting along with each other and getting used, bonding and interacting. So I think all the animals are social.
Yeah. Do you think animals have emotions? That's where I was going for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can have not as much nuance as humans, but they can feel joy, excitement, sadness.
They have positive and negative
yes,
balance
they can
emotions.
be depressed
right?
also if they are not active enough or.
They have anxiety too.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see, for example, sometimes fish in fish balls, they are depressed and they don't swim or they have different behavior.
Exactly.
So I think they have emotions.
So, and I can challenge that also. Like, we think that they're less complex, but I don't know. Have you ever been to therapy?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the chart of emotions?
No.
So there's my therapist at some point gave me this whole list of emotions, and I realized that a lot of them, I feel them, I couldn't identify them, right? So even if there is a lot of complexity to my emotions, I myself couldn't name that complexity. I couldn't identify that complexity. So maybe we can barely identify positive or negative emotions in animals ourselves, let alone acknowledge the complexities of their emotions, right?
Yes.
So maybe they do have complex emotions and we just don't know about it, right?
Yes.
That could also be a case. Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, so now my question is, the reason why I asked this is because we've established animals are sentient beings, right? They have emotions, they feel pain. They're basically individuals who want to live their life. How do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Like the animals that we farm for clothing, for food, for entertainment, stuff like that. Do you think they're on the same level. They have emotions, they have desires, all of this. Do you think it's fair to do this to them?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's fair to do this to them. I don't think you can put like all the animals and all the lives on the same levels. Like you can't say an ant is as important as a human, but I don't think it's fair to force to slaughter them, or especially in really bad conditions and like big agronomy.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, like factory farming.
Yeah, factory farming, or like it's very cruel conditions. But I feel like if it's in a different type of industry, like you have your own farm and you know how your animals are treated and how they live, it's better than mass.
It's less worse.
Yeah.
But they still get killed for optional products.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it okay to kill animals for something that we don't need?
No, not for something that we don't need.
Well, we don't need any animal products.
Yeah.
So it's not okay to kill animals for animal products.
I think the debate around what is needed or what is not depends on the culture. And
there's no debate there because science says that we don't need it. It's like
Yeah.
you can try to say, well, you can call it need when you say culture, but the reality is you want it, right? Culture is not something that is contingent on your survival. You don't need culture in order to survive or to thrive.
Yes, that's true.
Right? You choose, in a sense, your culture chose, like you don't, you're born in a culture, but you always make the choice whether to follow that culture or not, right? And even when you follow a culture, nobody's telling you to follow a culture by saying, you can still follow culture, what I'm trying to say, without the need of exploiting animals or
Yes,
killing animals, right?
that's
Like, if you like croissants, you can get vegan croissants. If you like, I don't know, if you, for dinner, you meet around the dinner and you used to eat turkey, you can eat tofurkey or whatever it is, right? Like, you can still do all the same things, just without the exploitation, right?
Yes.
So I'm trying to bring awareness. The reason why I ask all of these questions about animals is because a lot of the times we don't consider the position of the victim of the animals.
Yes.
And when we see things like factory farming, it seems so inhumane to us because of the sheer scale of it, the sheer
Violence.
and the violence, and how we treat them literally like objects, right? Because that's what we see in factory farming. We see one object being moved from one place to another. But the reality is on small farms, they get treated exactly the same. They're still being moved from one point to the other. They just have larger areas to roam from time to time, but they're still treated like objects. The minute they no longer give milk, for example, for dairy cows, they are killed. The minute that they no longer
Depends. There are ethical farming that don't do that type of things.
all dairy farms kill all their cows when they can no longer produce milk. What time do you think? Sorry, a bit warm. So going through dairy cows, why do cows produce milk?
For not the lamb, the baby of the cow.
Yeah, for their babies, exactly. So they need to have babies for that. So do you think that they decide when they have babies, or do you think the farmer decides for them?
They decide.
Yeah, so farmers already, I feel it's already treating somebody like an object when I decide for them, for their own body, right? Like it's already, I'm removing their body autonomy from the start. So farmers, they literally forcefully impregnate them. And when the babies are, I'm not going to describe the procedure because I've already described it a couple of times. After the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They're either killed for meat or they become milk cows also.
Yeah, so the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mother because they don't want them to drink the milk.
Yes.
The milk has to be portioned by the farmer. The farmer says how much milk the child drinks. It's yet again another body autonomy that's removed, and the whole relationship between mother and child is treated as a nuisance rather than something that is beautiful or natural, right?
Yes.
And if they're born male, yes, they get killed. If they're born female, they suffer the same fate as their mother. They're forcefully impregnated every year. They have their babies stolen from them every year. And when they can no longer be impregnated, they get killed because it would be too expensive to keep them alive. That usually happens around the age of 6. So they get forcefully impregnated between 6 to 8 times. And the reason why they can't be impregnated with these afterwards is because, we're nobody is made to be impregnated year over year over year over year, right? We're not.
That's not
We're not.
healthy.
Yeah. We're made to have one baby, maybe two, and then that's it, right? So they can live up to 25 years, and after 6 years they get killed. Yeah, this is dairy farming. In meat farming, it's kind of the same, but they kill them without impregnate them every time. It's all kind of the same bullshit. Don't you think this is abusive and wrong to do this to individuals who feel, who have emotions?
Yeah. Yes, we do believe in like animal cause, and she's
Yeah.
like a vegetarian, so that's why
You're
I told her
vegetarian.
that she needs
Yeah.
I'm
to speak.
vegetarian and I don't really like drink milk, and I try to buy from ethical brands and stuff, but I feel like it's a lot of effort to go completely like vegan. And here in the Netherlands you have lots of options like vegetarian or vegan restaurants, but we're from France and we have big culture of meat and
Cheese,
and
milk.
cheese, and
Yeah.
so it's harder, and you have more
Obstacle.
comment on dit des
Yeah.
préjugés.
Preconceived ideas.
Yeah, preconceived ideas against people who are vegan.
Yeah.
Or,
But I
Sadly
think
so.
that it's getting better. Like the amount of people that care for animals, that feel their pain, and are trying to do something. It's not perfect. Like I think everyone tries their best, but I think like as today in 2025, things are getting better.
They are.
People are making more efforts and
you have more awareness.
more
Yeah.
awareness,
against,
and like people like you that
Yeah.
do stuff like
Yeah,
this on
we
the
try to do
internet.
it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, but like I first of all, everything that I do only matters if people actually change, right? Like if people who I speak to actually make changes and they actually do something about it, right? Yes, there's also the people watching who are getting informed and they're having, on the sense, people who are not vegan and they're watching, you're kind of speaking on their behalf and you're asking questions, and when I'm speaking to you, I'm kind of addressing also same issues that they're addressing. So I'm hopefully people who are listening now, I hope you're listening. But what we need is change. And when you said like people who they have a stigma towards vegans, you know, people have a stigma towards feminists also, right? Like they,
Yes.
especially nowadays, they think it's wrong to be a feminist for some reason. But feminist just means equal rights and opportunities for women. You'd have to be crazy to be stigmatizing feminists, right?
It's because of
It challenges their way of life.
Yeah.
And they don't like that.
Yeah, but the
Same
thing,
with vegan.
the only thing that I want to say is that I would never not be feminist and I would never not be vegan just because others are threatened by my ideas of a good world or whatever, right? The reality is most people in this world, they oppose animal abuse. Most people, they think women should have equal rights. But when it comes to actually acting on them, they
don't
sleep
want
on it.
to-
They go,
To
yeah.
make the change. They don't want to make the
Exactly.
effort towards the change.
Because I think it's hard to change something that's so deep in like cultures and society, and for what I think my own behavior is already like a lot, and it's most of the things I can control to perpetrate my beliefs, and then how you do talk about it and try to influence small some people, like, but it's hard to make big changes.
It's hard because we live in a world that doesn't encourage us to be vegan, right? Like, and the reason for that is because these industries are huge. Animal agriculture is a huge industry.
Lot of
They
money.
pay lots of money to hide the shit that animals go through. They pay lots of money to sell you biological, free range, all of these labels so that you feel good about the choices. When in reality, all of these animals, they suffer exactly the same fate. They will all get beaten up if they need to get beaten up. They will all get punched if they need to get punched. Whatever it is, if they need to make money, whatever they'll do, whatever they need to do to farmers. And when we buy animal products, when you buy animal products, you're telling them exactly this: do whatever you do. I just need to get my milk. I just need to get my cheese. I just need to get my eggs. I just need to get my meat, right? So when we say we're against animal abuse, when we say we respect animals, there is no way that we can say that and at the same time buy animal
Yes,
products,
that's true.
right?
That's true.
Yeah. So I'll just ask you this one final question and that's it, and I'll let you go. How many more animals do you want to be exploited or slaughtered or abused for you before you make a change?
Oh. Yeah, you're right. Like you cannot give an answer to this question that is not hypocrite. Like
Yeah.
hypocrite.
Yeah. How many do you want? Let me ask you this.
I want none,
Yeah.
but I know that even saying that doesn't mean I won't eat animal product again. I'm trying
Yeah.
to eat less,
I appreciate that.
not as much as she's doing. I think
Yeah.
I could make more efforts, and it's part of my 2025 goals, like to eat less meat
Yeah.
and then less animal products. But yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm doing my best for now, but maybe I'll try also to reduce more and more.
Because you say you still consume some dairy products, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and like, just to put it in perspective, in any situation of injustice that was happening, would you say it's important that we reduce it or that we stop, right? Like if let's say a person is beating their wife every day, would you say it's important that they stop or that they reduce it and only beat them on Wednesdays,
Yeah, stop.
right?
They have to stop.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to reduce than to stop all at once.
It's easier, of course. Yeah.
And
But change comes slowly.
yeah,
Depends. In society, change comes slowly.
Yes, but
Individuals can change instantly. We don't need to be slow.
Our relation with animals has been this way, like dominant, human dominating animals
Yeah.
have been like this for very long, and I think that the change happening in the perspective of like the time
Yeah.
is quite fast. Like when you see how much vegan there is like on like today
Yeah.
compared to like 100 years ago, like it's a lot. Like it's
Yeah.
a big impact
Yeah.
in like human history. So even if it's sad, like to think that reducing is not as good as stopping it.
Sadly, it
It's
is.
going towards that.
Especially, so I would say reducing, like, I don't want to say okay, it's less bad, and it can be acceptable if you're going in towards the direction of stopping. Because if you're reducing and being complacent about it, you're still always going to be violent towards animals. You're still
but
always going to be for
The
for
problem
oppression.
you cannot stop something is if everyone is not okay with it. Like you cannot
There's-
push your own values.
There's misogynists
and
all
your-
over the world. I
Yes.
cannot possibly justify me being misogynist because there's misogynists.
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you cannot force people to have your own values.
No, but your values are in place.
Yes.
I'm
That's
not.
why
I'm not
your-
imposing my values. You're saying
So-
you value. You're saying it's wrong to abuse animals. So
That's why the reducing is like convincing people of your own values. Stopping will be forcing everyone.
well,
it will not change
reducing.
their
But reducing, wouldn't you say you're still participating in animal abuse if you're reducing?
I think that it's
If I
the
abuse,
correct way.
if I
to
abuse
go.
one animal per year, can I say I'm against animal abuse?
Yes. If you used to abuse 1,000.
If I used to abuse 1,000.
Yes. And you're working towards zero.
If
and
I
you're
if I work
abusing
towards
one.
exactly as I said, if
That's
I'm
why,
working
that's
towards
why
zero.
I'm talking about reducing, like reducing towards time.
Yeah,
I
towards
think
zero.
it's better to reduce towards zero than to force everyone to go from 100 to zero, because you're not changing their values. You're just stopping them.
Yeah.
It's like you're not teaching
No, of
the man
course.
to not beat his wife. You're just cutting his hand.
Yeah, we need sustainable change.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's
we don't
exactly
need
what I'm
exactly.
saying.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So I cannot police you any further. By the way, like you can go from here. You can tell me, oh, we'll go vegan, and you can do whatever you want, right? It's not. I can't do anything to you. I can just only choose to inform you what you are participating in and tell you that when you will be buying animal products, one innocent animal will be going into a slaughterhouse for you.
Yes, that's
And
true.
if you can make a choice otherwise, please make a choice otherwise. Be aware about your choices, because they don't need us just to have values. They need us to act on our values.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
That's
Like that's the reality. And let me give you some cards to help you with that. Are you tourists here in Amsterdam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a map then. Oh, can you hold this?
Yes.
So this is a map of restaurants in Amsterdam, vegan restaurants.
Oh, yes.
I know some of them.
Nice.
Do you know where are we?
Uh,
Do you know where we are?
so we are, the museum square is here. We are somewhere here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the color?
The color is junk food,
okay.
semi-healthy or healthy.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you.
I would recommend one thing. If you ever decide that you want to go vegan, which I hope you do, you have Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan. It's all free. And if you go to veganfuture.org, you have a video called The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear. I recommend you watch it. It teaches you about eggs, about honey. Nothing wrong with knowing what you're paying for, and then you get to decide if you want to be part of it or not, and you have all the resources there.
Thank you so much. We were
Okay?
looking for food. I think we're gonna use it.
Perfect. Yeah, use that. I recommend
Thank you.
vegan sushi bar, but it's here.
far.
It's pretty far. Yeah, it's not right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, and
Have a nice day.
have a nice vegan life, and
You too. You too.
let's respect animals. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Yes. Nice girls. Nice chat. Yeah, exactly, Benji. I agree. Nice chat. I also appreciated it. Whew. Good work, Chip, says Martin. Thank you. Awesome convo. Hey, James. Nice to see you here. Where are you at? Amsterdam. Right now, I am in front of Rijksmuseum. Yeah. What about crustaceans? Are they sentient? They are, yes. Ciao. Eating a yummy burger right now. Vegan, of course, says Laura. Love it, Laura. Awesome. And hey, everyone, if you're enjoying this conversation, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that notification bell, do all that beautiful things. Has vegan, oh my God, Has, it's been so long. Thanks for speaking up. Stay warm out there. Has, where have you been, man? I missed your videos. You used to do live streaming also. How are you? It's been a while. You want to try a social experiment? Say it again. English, yes. Oh, sorry, I'm live on my YouTube channel, so I'm doing it in English. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Good one. If you're truly vegan, you wouldn't be in a parking lot installing all those fossil fuels. First of all, I am not in a parking lot. First of all. Second of all, how does one relate to the other? Please explain to me, because I fail to see it. What does animal rights have to do with the environment? Please explain to me. Who said that ridiculous thing? Let's see. I can't see it anymore. Somebody said, wait, I was vegetarian for 8 years and only got skinny, not worth. Well, you got skinny because you didn't eat enough calories. It's pretty simple, man. It's calories in, calories out. There's no magic behind how to gain or lose weight. It's simple. You eat more calories, you gain weight. You eat less calories, you lose weight. Simple. Simple thermodynamics. Benji, I see you're timing out people. I told Ali the same thing. I don't know if you listened to it. Please only time out people if they absolutely should be timed out, if they only say like ridiculous things. Otherwise, you know, people will always have ridiculous beliefs. So we need to be able to curb that, you know. We need to be able to listen to them, to have them talk, not silence them, okay? That's it. I trust your judgment. Just be careful about that. Some of those people have foul mouths. Yeah, sadly, you know, that's the thing. When people get really touchy when their views get challenged, you know. How dare you tell me not to eat my meat? Well, it's not your meat in the first place, but yeah. I was being ridiculous for humorous purposes. I'm not that guy. Silence the closed-minded ones. No, we can't silence anybody. The closed-minded, that's the thing, you know. I believe in rehabilitation. I don't believe jails should be a place where people go there to be secluded from society, although some people do need that too. I believe people need to be rehabilitated, people need to have their ideas challenged, people need to have conversations, and people need to, you know, we all have a subjective experience of the world. We all have a universe. I think a lot of the people in this chat who aren't even vegan, they think what they're doing is right? They think what they're doing is correct. That how dare we tell them to change? How dare we tell them that to not eat meat or animal products when that's all they've done their whole life? That's all their parents done their whole life. That's what everybody around them does. How dare we vegans come in and say, you know what, don't do that because it's wrong. But literally what we're saying is, hey, there's sentient individuals, there's animals who feel, who have a subjective experience of the world, just like you do, who cannot express themselves because they don't have a voice, who want to live, who don't want to be exploited or killed for you. That's all. That's all we're saying, you know? So, you know, you got to ask yourself where your values sit. Where are your values? Are your values saying that my experience is worth more than anything else? I would fucking kill people, animals, everybody for my own experience just because I get a little bit more pleasure from one thing than the other, or because it's a little bit more convenient for me? Or should I challenge my ideas? Should I challenge the preconceptions that I was taught as a child? Should I say it's okay to kill animals? Maybe it's not okay to kill animals. Maybe it's not okay to exploit them, you know? I'm just saying. Maybe deep down inside you think, what exactly is the difference between a dog and a cow? Maybe there is no difference, because there is no difference, especially from their perspective. Think outside the box. Be a little bit, I love B12 is a myth, says think outside the box. That's a very good one. Think outside the box. Challenge the beliefs that you were taught as a child. Don't just go with them. Challenge yourself a little bit. Understand the moral beliefs that you have. Like, it's very important, you know, that you understand why it's wrong to harm humans, why it's wrong to harm animals. It's important to understand. Otherwise, you're just following a moral belief system that isn't your own. You're just following somebody at some point said it's right or wrong to do this or that, and you're just following along with it without knowing what that belief, what beliefs that person held. You know, during Nazi times, it was considered wrong to be Jewish, right? That's why they were persecuted for it. If you were to be born in that system, if you were to be continuing with that system, and you wouldn't be challenging that view, you would just think that being Jewish is wrong. You can't go around doing that. You need to challenge your beliefs. You can't go around accepting that, oh, well, animals are objects, we can do whatever we want to them. You can't. You need to challenge your beliefs. Adolf was vegan. No, he was not. That's another bullshit myth that people think. No, he was not. He was eating animal products. And I think he was vegetarian for a while for health, but he was eating animal products all the time. He was not vegan. Yeah, that's propaganda. I agree 100%. Showed the picture of the dog as well. They are actually eating dogs and cats as well. I love all animals and they suffer so much for us. Hey, no context. Nice to see you. Donovan says, I feel like a Big Mac. Donovan, far be it from me to make you choose anything else. All I urge you to question is, do you feel like supporting the slaughter of an innocent animal? Do you feel like supporting the exploitation, the abuse of animals? because you feel like it, is that a good enough reason to exploit or slaughter an innocent animal? I think there's vegan Big Macs. I don't think in the US there are, but yeah, there are. Oh, look at that. Somebody says, I'm not here to cry, people. I'm here to listen to an opinion different than my own. Listening is the first step. That's a pretty open-minded thing, to listen to different opinions. I appreciate that. What was that? Cody? What was your name? Cody? Cody Jobert. Yeah, I appreciate that you have a different, you are willing to listen. So Cody, let me ask you, what is it that you think morally justifies taking the life of an animal? Like in your situation, right? Like in your values, with your values, when is it okay to kill an animal? Self-defense, says Dirk Jensen. Sure, that's a situation. In self-defense, I would say if you can choose to not kill them, even in that situation, maybe don't kill them, but if that's the only option, sure, yeah, that's a valid option. What else? Is there any other reason? Survival, yeah, that's a good one, Cody. Survival. Okay, is there any other reason? So self-defense and survival so far. Is there any other reason when it's morally justified to kill an innocent animal? I am a little bit cold, yes. That's why I move a little bit around. No, there's no, Dirk says no other situation. Yeah, I also don't think there's any other situation. So do you think that these two situations, survival and defense, right? Situations when I would define both of these situations as need, right? You need to kill that animal, either to survive because in self-defense or to survive because you need to eat them. So, but in absence of need, when there is absolutely no need, how can we ever morally justify taking the life of an animal? Not pleasure, that's for sure. Which is why, though I'm not vegan, I don't understand why people hunt for fun. Yeah, Cody. Well, when you say that you're not vegan, and you're still consuming animal products and you say it's not for fun, well, you're not doing it for survival, are you? Because you have other options for survival, right? So when you choose an animal product, you're not making a choice for survival. You're making a choice for whatever it is, convenience, pleasure, whatever it is. You guys want to try a social experiment? Cody says, I guess I'm a hypocrite. Cody, that's okay. You know, we all were hypocrites. That's the reality. I was a hypocrite. Everybody who's vegan in this chat room has been a hypocrite. All of us have been. But the whole point of being a hypocrite is not to accept that you're a hypocrite, but rather to try not to be one, right? So, that doesn't mean changing your value system, right? Because I don't know I believe you can also change your value system. You can think it's okay to kill animals, but if you don't, then, hey, you want to try a social experiment? I just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit.
Okay, yeah, ask.
You okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Yeah, why not?
What's your name?
Josh.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Nice
I'm
to
Chip.
meet you too.
So, Josh, do you have a job?
Yeah.
What's your job?
I'm a physiotherapist.
Physiotherapist?
Yes.
You don't work in an office, do you?
No.
No, okay. Have you ever worked in an office?
No.
No, okay. But you do work in a building, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you, is it your own business or somebody?
No, I'm working for someone.
You're working for somebody. Okay, let's imagine, just as a hypothetical scenario, you go to work
Yeah.
and that somebody, I don't know, maybe you have a badge or something, you scan it, you go in, and somebody comes and says, come with me, and they take you and they show you an apartment somewhere,
Okay.
and they say, this is your apartment now. You
Yeah.
never have to leave work again.
Okay.
And you say, wait, maybe I want to live, but you say you're not allowed to leave work again.
Okay.
Is that something you would like, or is that something you would?
Not leave my working space.
Yeah, yeah. They
No.
they build an apartment. They give you food. They give you everything they need.
But I couldn't walk around in the city and stuff.
No. You would. They decide for you.
Okay, no.
No. You. Why would that be wrong for you?
Because I want to see other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to live your life however you want to live. You don't have the freedom to do whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, but they provide all your needs, right? They provide the
Yeah.
food. They provide. They don't provide everything that you want, but everything that they claim you need.
Yeah.
Okay. What if in a situation they say, you know what, we don't need you anymore, right? And instead of firing you, they sell you to another company. They transfer you to another company, and where you have to be the same. You'll be locked in an apartment. You do everything else. Would that be fair towards you?
No, because I wouldn't even do it in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I understand that in this hypothetical scenario, you are you, who you are now. But let's imagine a hypothetical scenario where instead of you, there's a intellectually challenged person, right? Somebody who doesn't really realize that they're locked up, right? They know that they're getting the food that they need. They know that they're getting everything.
Yeah.
Would it be okay to do this to them?
Yeah, you would exploit them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Would exploiting them be okay?
If you're a moral person, no. But if not, it's.
Yeah,
it's
but according to your own morals, I'm trying
Yeah.
to grasp.
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, let me ask you: if in place of this human being who is intellectually challenged, we replace them with an animal, would it be okay to do that to an animal?
Yeah, I guess I know where you're going to, and yeah, it's not right morally, but yeah, it's.
So
just
exploiting animals is also wrong, right?
basically, yes.
Yeah, because they're like us in all the ways that matters. They have emotions. They want to live. They want to do something. They want to have some freedom, right? If you put an animal in a cage, they don't want to be in that cage.
Yeah.
So, do you think that when we buy animal products in animal agriculture, there's some inherent animal exploitation there?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say that you're against this, do you think you can be against it while at the same time supporting it by buying animal products?
No, you would be. Yeah, I don't know if the word hypocritical is correct, but
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
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 So, do you think that when we realize that we're hypocritical about something, do you think we need to change, or do you think we need to accept it?
I think it depends on whether you can live with that. Yeah, how do you call it? Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, if you can live with that and it makes your life in general easier to buy animal products, you can do it. If you feel like your inner conflict is bigger on the part of the animal, you shouldn't do it. But yeah, I was vegan for 3 years actually, and now I eat everything again, which is hypocritical. But yeah, it's just more life quality, and it's egoistic, I know, but yeah, that's.
When you say you were vegan, what do you mean by that? What do you think being vegan means?
Vegan in the actual definition means to reduce or not harm animals as long as you can survive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means rejecting animal exploitation or harm,
yeah.
and to the point that is practicable, possible and practical. Yeah. Yeah. So, what made you not respect animals anymore?
Yeah, I went vegan for the environment because
So you were plant-based, because it's not a diet. Veganism is not a diet.
Yeah. Then I was plant-based, but in the beginning I didn't buy leather stuff, so I was vegan, I would say. Then I was plant-based because I started buying leather shoes, for example. And yeah, as I said, I was vegan for the environment, or plant-based later on. But my fear of climate change reduced, so I didn't feel like I needed to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that, right? Because when it comes to climate change, our choices can seem so small, right? And yeah, obviously being vegan is still better for the climate, but that's why, by the way, being vegan isn't a thing for climate. It can never be for the climate. It's
for the
literally
animals,
for the
yeah.
animals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, do you think that, because it's interesting to me that you were vegan and then you're no longer, well, you were plant-based and you're no longer plant-based, but do you think that you as an individual have a responsibility towards the animals that get exploited and killed for you?
Yeah, I have the responsibility because I pay for it, and
Exactly.
the market can exist because people pay for it. So yeah, it's my responsibility.
Yeah. So what would incentivize you to go vegan right now and never exploit animals again?
If I could live the same lifestyle and if it would be as cheap and easy to get the protein in, and yeah, just from a logistical perspective, like wherever you are, you can eat whatever you want. Yeah.
But the wherever you are, you can eat whatever you want thing is never going to be true for vegans, or not in our lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is that a necessary requirement for you to stop exploiting animals?
Yeah, the thing is, I was vegan, so I know, or at least plant-based for 3 years, so I know what it's like. And now I can just eat more delicious food more often, and it's easier. And I would also say, yeah,
But,
more variety and cheaper.
But I would argue that
get the
you were
protein.
plant-based one way, right? Like, if I was like whatever diet I have, right? If you name a diet, name keto diet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If I say, well, I eat animal products, and therefore the keto diet won't work. It doesn't really the logic doesn't really work, right? So maybe you were plant-based one way and it didn't work for you, but it doesn't mean that plant-based in general won't work for you, right? It doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely survive and be healthy, but quality of life is higher now that I eat animal products.
What specifically about it makes the quality of life better?
The food I eat, it's more delicious, I would say.
Yeah, so it's just strictly about your sensory pleasure, your taste pleasure.
Yeah, and also getting the protein in.
Well, protein you can get from plant-based products also, right? If you didn't get them before, you probably didn't have a good enough diet.
Yeah, but I would say it's still easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you live here in the Netherlands?
No, in Germany.
In Germany.
Yeah.
Do you think you don't have enough plant-based options in Germany because it's full of plant-based options?
Yeah, we have plant-based options, but they are more expensive than meat, for example.
You're talking about the meat replacer
Yeah,
specifically,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like pasta, rice, beans,
yeah,
tofu,
yeah,
lentils,
yeah,
chickpeas,
yeah.
all these are cheap, right?
Yeah, these are cheap, yeah.
Yeah, so you
But
could...
they are also not as high in protein as other stuff.
Tofu is pretty high. Tofu is, I think, just as high in protein as chicken is or something like that.
Yeah, but it's also higher in fat, and it's...
Tofu is not high in fat, no.
I think it has about 9 grams or so per...
But
100.
either way, like I'll just put it like, do you know TVP or soy chunks? These are 50% protein. They're very high in protein.
Yeah,
so.
I've when I was vegan, I basically ate like soy chunks, like vegan chicken every day, but it's still more expensive, and also the
TVP is not expensive. It's very cheap.
You mean those which you have to soak in hot water?
Yeah.
But they are also not as delicious.
Well, depends on how you make them. I don't know. I would say, like, if you say those aren't delicious, those literally replicate anything you put on them or in them, or whatever you put in them, right? Like, it's like saying, I don't know, water is not delicious. I don't know. Water's just, takes the flavor. If you add flavor to water, it becomes that flavor. It's the same with TVP or any of it, right? But, like, regardless of all of this, I'm curious, how can you morally justify what animals go through for you?
I would say it's not moral to not be vegan if you have the opportunity. But yeah, I think I would have to say I do it because it's just easier.
Yeah, so your convenience, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you say it's not moral, and do you think convenience should dictate, like, if it's convenient for me to, I'm in a car and it's more convenient for me to run over somebody rather than press the brake and stop, would you say I should go over and run them over?
No, but I also have a higher emotional bond with humans than with other animals.
I'm in a car, there's a dog. If I could.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's easier to just press brakes than to ditch animal products when it comes to eating.
I mean, I would say it's kind of the same thing. You're literally just going into a supermarket, getting different products.
Yeah.
But especially nowadays, I don't know maybe when you tried it, but nowadays you have like readily available frozen meals and stuff like that you can buy in supermarkets, including in Germany. So it's not that difficult. But
but
either way, can
still
convenience really be a good enough justifier? Like when I threw this hypothetical out there, it's literally when you're saying that my convenience is worth more than their life. It's you're basically saying I would rather not push the brakes and just run them over because it's more convenient for me, you know.
I still think there's a difference because it's still easier to press brakes than to ditch non-vegan foods everywhere you are.
Yeah, what you're saying is the difference in between the convenience is not, but let's put it this way, my brake doesn't work, or like I'm on a bike, I don't know, whatever, and I could run over a dog, I would hurt them greatly, whatever, unless I move. But if I move left and right, I would have to go up a hill or whatever, up a mountain, doesn't even matter. I don't have to draw a hypothetical out there, but you kind of understand the perspective. If I have a choice between something that is more convenient but would cause harm to somebody and something that is a little bit more inconvenient for me, how could I ever choose the one that's convenient and causing harm to them? Like, what right do I have to cause harm to somebody else?
Yeah, I guess it's the power that we have.
Yeah.
And it's not moral, but it's just convenience.
Yeah.
And I'm on your side when you say it can't be justified because it's not very just.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I have that inner conflict sometimes. But then I'm too convenient to do it. And because I've been vegan for 3 years and know what it's like.
You're plant-based?
Yeah, or plant-based. In the beginning I was vegan, I would say.
You weren't because you said for the environment.
But my lifestyle was still vegan, even though I did it for the environment.
Being vegan literally means, like, I could say I respect women because it's convenient for me to respect women, but that doesn't make me a feminist. A feminist means I respect women. Simple as that. Vegan means I respect animals. I could respect animals without being vegan, but I don't know what, you know, like vegan is literally the position of respect.
Okay, I lived a vegan lifestyle.
Yeah, you lived a vegan lifestyle. I understand what you mean. Yeah, but and I understand your perspective where you say it's a little bit more convenient, but I don't know. You got to ask yourself what do you want to do, because you know you kind of agree with all the values. You have the values there. It say it's immoral, and yet you behave differently for your convenience. I don't know what to do. I think you can find a convenient way to live vegan also. If you want. It's not inconvenient for me, by the way. I live vegan and it's not inconvenient. So maybe, you know, if you have the motivation where you don't want to exploit animals, that's how I see it. It's easier, and then you find a way to work. Even if maybe it doesn't work like this, maybe it works like that. That's why I said that there's so many ways to be vegan. It's not one. There's not one way to one diet or one anything.
Yeah, for me it is now the way that I eat. It's just convenience, and also cheaper to get the protein in, I would say. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I get 250 grams of protein per day.
Yeah.
Yesterday I got 300, no problem.
Yeah.
It's not expensive at all. I mean, it's expensive because everything is expensive these days, but it's not expensive because I'm vegan, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if I compare like vegan chicken with normal chicken, it's cheaper to buy the normal chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with just looking at prices now, not morals. Vegan, I don't know how to say
when
it.
we talk about this, when we say things like this, we're already objectifying the animals in a sense, you see. It's cheaper to buy the corpse of a dead animal and it has more protein.
Yeah.
We're already disregarding the individuals that they were before that, right? Like, if we already see them like that, of course we're always going to choose our convenience. But if we see them as individuals, if we see it not even an option to kill these innocent individuals for something, then it's not even an option. It doesn't even matter. Then it's all the choices between which one is higher in protein for me, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
Which one is more convenient.
egoistical, you could say.
Yeah, it's a little bit egoistical.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. Yeah, maybe I will change my mind again. We'll just see how my morals evolve.
Let me give you a card to help you out with all of this. Started raining, freaking Dutch weather.
I don't know where my girlfriend went. I think she went to some cafe. I'm gonna have to call her.
You have Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, they help you go vegan. Maybe that will help you out with convenience. You have 24/7 coaching also here for free. They help you go vegan also. And maybe with the 24/7 coaching is something that could help you right away, because there's a lot of people from Germany there, and maybe they could help you, give you some helpful pointers on how to make it convenient for you.
Yeah.
But the whole point of it is to not consider animals as objects, not see them as objects, because when you do, maybe it is more convenient, because we live in a non-vegan world. Sadly, it is more convenient. But the only way to make the other side convenient is to people like you, people like me, who understand and who think it's immoral to make changes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I will become vegan again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We need more individuals to never stop oppressing animals, to not oppress them.
Yeah.
You know?
Why is it so important for you?
So personally, it's important for me because I fight for animal rights, and the reason why I fight for animal rights is because I think it's a huge injustice, and I just hate it when people disregard individuals so much that they only talk about the benefits they get from exploiting those individuals.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so fucked up because, I don't know, maybe as I was young I felt like that in certain situations when people talked about, I don't know, the things that I did or something, and they, instead of considering me as an individual, they just talked about the benefit that they would get from, I don't know, harming me or whatever. But I just think it's fucked up, and I'm just a person who hates it. I just fucking hate that.
I mean, it's more moral.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah, I'm not a perfect person, don't get me wrong. I do shit also, but like,
everyone.
I just hate the idea of disregarding somebody's rights.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, if it comes to, if I ever have a choice between human rights, respecting some human rights, respecting animal rights or not, I always choose to respect them, even if it's a little bit more inconvenient for me, even if it's a little bit more expensive for me, because you never know on the other side what happens. You never know. No.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Have a
nice
good
day.
one. Yeah, you too.
Goodbye.
Ciao. It started raining, just as expected. At 4 p.m. it was gonna start raining. So I think that's gonna be it for now. I don't want to be sitting too much in the rain. We'll wait maybe a little bit more, but yeah. I have a hard time accepting that I have been morally challenged. Thank you though. I will definitely implement more plant-based meals in my diet. Baby steps. Hey Cody, that's amazing, man. That's awesome. Awesome that you came here, that you changed your mind a little bit and you're implementing these changes. That's awesome. You know, that's what we want. And no, it's YouTube.
YouTube vlog?
Yeah.
How many viewers do you have?
150. Too few viewers for them. Not worth my time. 150 viewers. What the hell? Come on, guys. Hit those numbers. Come on. Increase those numbers. Cody says that's not nice. Yeah. Cody, listen. Baby steps are for babies. Cody, listen. I appreciate you for trying to take baby steps. But yeah, as I say to everybody on the street, like, keep in mind that even when we're taking steps, we're still exploiting animals. But you know, you do what you gotta do. Like, none of us, you know, we talk and we sit here and we talk, but none of us can tell you what to do. That's the reality. None of us can force you in any of your choices. You gotta make those choices yourself, and you gotta live with those choices, which is the most important part. And I think once that click happens in your head, once you realize how fucked up it is what we do to animals and how we see animals and how we treat animals, I think it's extremely difficult to not be vegan afterwards. Like, I think you have to go through immense hoops, right? Because I think that's what happened to everybody who went vegan at the end of the day. They just literally had that switch turned on, and they realized, holy shit, these individuals, these beings who live, who survive, who thrive, who have a will for families, who want to love, they just want to experience life like all of us. We treat them like objects. We kill them. We abuse them. We use them. It's fucked up. That's the sad reality. And it's fucked up that we do, that the society does this to them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. But it's even more fucked up when you're participating in it. Like, I personally think it would be extremely fucked up for me to know that I'm participating in some horrific thing that I could always change, right? Like, as I said, when I do some of the social experiments, when it comes to systemic oppression, sometimes you can change, sometimes you cannot. That's the thing. But when you can change, I think we have the moral obligation to actually change. That's why I bought shoes, by the way. I bought shoes now. Oh my God. Peg, thank you so much. Peg, thank you so much for the super chat. I bought shoes, and it took me, 2 months to find the shoes, because I had to look into them being the least exploitative, of course vegan, and all this stuff, It takes a while. That's the reality. It takes a while. But we gotta do it, That's just how I see it. In order for me to sleep well at night, I need to live by my own morals. Otherwise, yeah, I'll fall asleep the first night, the second night. Of course, we all forget. That's the reality, because we're built that way, to forget the horrific things that we're participating in. But maybe we shouldn't forget, Maybe we should continue remembering. Maybe we should not forget the fact that we're participating in some horrific shit, and we should stop. And the minute that we stop, we're gonna have a good night's sleep, right? I'm just saying, I don't know. Just trying to appeal to whatever it is that will make you guys say, fuck it, I don't want to be part of this anymore. But by the way, which shoes? They're a company called Vegetarian, actually. But they're not vegetarian, they're vegan. Let me show you. My awesome shoes, huh? Loving my awesome shoes. Would you do vegan patriot? I don't know what that is. But yeah, I think I gotta end this, because it's starting. The rain is not stopping. It's gonna continue more, and that's why I started a little bit earlier, because of the rain. I will, however, if you guys in the chat, especially the non-vegans, I know vegetarian shoes, lol, Robin Webb's shop. Interesting. I bought them at the, hi. Hi. You want to try a social experiment?
Yeah.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
Callie.
Callie. Nice to meet you, Callie.
Nice to meet you too.
So, where are you from?
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. Are you against oppression, Callie?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Absolutely not.
What if they benefit from it? And by they, I mean the powerful.
If the powerful benefit from it, then it doesn't matter, because they don't need
So
more
they should
power.
still not have the right.
Right.
Okay. What if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
If the powerless don't realize, then we need to promote education for them to advocate for themselves.
Maybe they're intellectually challenged or something. The question
Yeah.
is, do you think would it be right to oppress them just because they don't realize that they're oppressed?
No.
No. Okay. And when it comes to systemic oppression, which is sadly a normality nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that we have the obligation to seek out and choose the options that are the least oppressive, or maybe not oppressive at all?
We definitely should have the options and be presented all the information.
Yeah.
And we should help promote knowledge for everybody.
Exactly. And when presented with the options, do you think we have the moral obligation to choose the options with the least oppression, or none at all?
I think you have the ability to choose whatever feels most authentic to yourself. Obviously, people should want to choose the least oppressive option, but if they don't have the education or the direction to recognize that, then
But no, let's assume that they do have that,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Like they know that they have two options in front of them. One of them has more oppression, one of them has less or no oppression. Do you think that they have the moral obligation to choose the one with least oppression?
yeah.
Yeah, right? Okay. Okay. So far so consistent. Okay. So now let's imagine a situation where a company has worked with genetics and has created a different species where
Okay.
they mix the genes of a dog and a human,
Okay.
and they created a dog man. They look
Okay.
like a human, but they behave and act exactly like a dog. They think they're a dog, but they look exactly like a human.
Okay.
Would it be okay to oppress them?
No.
No.
Nothing should be oppressed, no matter if it's a human or an animal.
Okay. And there we land on the next thing. So is it you say it's wrong to oppress also animals?
Yes.
Do you think that we're oppressing animals when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for us?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think like zoos and places where they're enclosed in small spaces as well.
Do you participate in this system, in this form of oppression?
Um,
Like, do you buy animal products?
I probably have some without even realizing it, but I do try to go more organic when I can, or when I.
But organic are still animal products, right?
Yeah.
So
that's
they're
true.
still oppressed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, can you actually be against oppression when you choose to buy animal products because you're oppressing animals?
I think you can still be against it.
You can say you're against it.
Yeah, but like if I bought something that had an animal product in it that didn't have any information on the packaging about an animal product being inside of it, then
Like
it's
on the ingredients.
right. Yeah, then it's just kind of like you don't have the knowledge or the information.
No, of
for
course,
it.
if you don't have the knowledge that you're participating in oppression is a different thing.
Yeah.
But when you know that that's an animal product, when you know that you're buying, for example, milk or cheese
Oh yeah.
or meat, those are animal products, or eggs,
Mhm.
those are all animal products, right?
Mhm.
When you're buying these, you know for a fact that an animal is oppressed.
I guess, I mean, for milk, there's like farms that are just cow farms and they milk them like that. So I think that I would have to see, more of the environment that cow is in and how the farmers are with that specific animal. I think like the big farms that mass produce probably don't have ethical practices, but there are some more smaller ethical farms. So I think depends on kind of where you buy and who you buy from.
So I can tell you, because I've been on farms, my grandma was farming animals, small farms. So I can tell you for dairy farms, what do you think happens to dairy cows? Like, why do cows produce milk? Let's start there.
Do they give them like hormones?
No, not even that. Just the
Yeah.
best case scenario, the nicest farms ever.
Oh,
Why
okay.
do cows produce milk?
I don't really know.
For their babies, right?
Yeah.
It's their mammals.
Yeah.
I know. It's such a weird question,
just
right? Because
produce
a lot
it.
of them, yeah. I used to think, by the way, I used to believe a long time that they just eat grass and they produce milk.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird thing, and never made the connection that they actually have to have babies, like they're mammals, like us. So they only produce milk after they have babies.
Okay.
So for that, farmers, they forcefully impregnate them, right? Because they don't wait for them to decide, hey, do you want to have a baby now? No, they forcefully impregnate them, right?
Yeah.
Even on small farms, they still need the milk, so they will forcefully impregnate them. Usually the procedure is somebody puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and injectable semen in their vagina. Or they use a dildo where they attachable semen to the dildo and they set them in the vagina. That's messed up. That's sexual
Yeah.
exploitation from the start.
Definitely.
And when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
Maybe they're separated from the mother.
Exactly. So that they don't drink their milk because the milk, the intent of the farmer is to use them for the consumption, right?
Yep.
If the baby is born male, what happens to them? They don't produce milk.
They probably get slaughtered.
Exactly. And if they're female, year over year, forceful impregnation like their mothers,
Yeah.
until they can no longer be impregnated with ease. And that usually happens around 6 to 8 years because, our bodies, their bodies, no animal was built to continuously be impregnated and produce babies, right?
Right.
Maybe once or twice or 3 times in our lifetime. Maybe there's different animals who have it differently, but cows definitely not that. And when that happens, when they can no longer be impregnated with these, they also get killed. And that's they can live 24, 25 years, so that's at a quarter of their lifespan. Don't you think that's wrong to do this? all this to them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So would you see it as oppression?
Yeah. For the animals, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So then when we buy milk or cheese or any of this, we're still supporting animal oppression, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's coming from a smaller farm or whatever, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I love it that you agree on
So,
everything.
I do normally drink almond milk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess when I've bought regular milk or cheese, then I'm supporting animal oppression.
Exactly. So I understand your values. I appreciate all this. Now I gotta ask you: do values matter only how we say they are, or how we act on them?
How we act as well.
How we act,
Yeah.
right? So what is it that you wanna do going forward on this? Do you wanna? Let me ask you this: how many more animals should be oppressed for you before you make this change?
I think I'll process this conversation and really think about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like cheese, but I don't think realize the extent of like what you just told me.
It's fucked up.
So
Yeah. That's what got me to go vegan, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely. So I don't know. I think that I'll definitely consider eating more plant-based everything at this point.
That's already a good enough thing, right?
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, like, I mean, I can't police you going further. I can only give you resources, help you, have a conversation with you. But keep in mind that when you will buy an animal product, you will be exploiting an animal. You will be
Yeah.
oppressing them. So if you don't want that to happen, just avoid that. And that goes for food, for clothing, for entertainment, whatever it is, right? Like if I ask you, is it wrong to use animals for entertainment?
Yeah, it's definitely wrong.
Yeah, because we don't need it, right? There's no need for it.
Right.
So in the case of food, there's also no need because we have readily available plant-based options. So
Right.
it should be, for the same reason, it should be wrong, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for me? I'm vegan, by the way.
My brother was vegan for about 5 years, and it was a long time ago, maybe like 10, 12 years ago. And so I think I wish I would have had more of a interest or asked him more questions during that time.
Yeah.
I know that it was like a point of contention for my parents because every time we were home, we would have to, like alter the meals around what he could eat. And I think my mom just felt like less capable because she couldn't like cook things that he could eat and didn't know what he could eat and things like that. So I do think it kind of like the lack of knowledge sometimes like causes like a divide between like vegans and non-vegans, but like really people should just be asking more questions.
Exactly.
So
And also nowadays, I understand maybe in the past it was difficult, but nowadays we have ChatGPT.
yeah,
We have Google. It's so easy to find out, like, I have these ingredients. What can I make as a vegan meal?
right.
Make it delicious. It's easy.
Yes.
ChatGPT will help you instantly, by the way. It's
Yes.
so easy.
Do you feel like being vegan, is it more expensive groceries, or do you feel like you can, use whatever you buy for a long time?
I
With a
think-
lot of grains and things like that.
So I think eating healthy is expensive regardless if you're going to be vegan or not, right?
Right.
I don't think the differentiator between price is there for vegan or not vegan nowadays. I think you can be, if you don't care about health that much, it's going to be cheap. If you care about health, it's going to be pretty much as expensive as it's going to be with animal-based products.
Yeah.
Maybe not in US, because US is the animal agriculture is so heavily subsidized that it is far cheaper to not be vegan.
Yeah.
But even there, if you think about it, pasta, rice, beans, lentils, chickpeas,
Right.
tofu, these are very cheap. Like I went to
Yeah.
Costco, my sister lives in US, and when I went to Costco, you get this huge chunk of tofu blocks, and it's not even that expensive. So
Yeah.
I managed to live on a plant-based diet with my sister. I lived there for like 3 months,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that expensive. But yeah, it's hard to say because I became vegan exactly 3, maybe 4 years ago, and that's also about the time when inflation started rising. So
Yeah.
prices started going up. Overall, my price per month for food has gone down, and now it's kind of the same as it was before, but that's because of inflation. So I don't know what to tell you. I personally think it's a little bit cheaper most of the times, because when we think of vegan food, we think of plant-based meats, which are expensive a lot of times. But I only have those, like, I don't know, I only buy those when they're discounted, and if they're not discounted, I buy tofu and other stuff and I eat that. Like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't buy very much meat in general. Like, I don't eat that much meat. But for my house, I mean, I live alone. So, I'm like, it is really expensive to
Yeah.
buy meat, and then I don't want to eat the same thing every day. And I honestly do think it's cheaper to eat more plant-based as well.
It is, yeah. And like what I like to say is I think you can make it work on every budget. You just gotta want it. That's all it is. Reality is the difficult thing about being vegan isn't the food, the change, or anything. It's dealing with people who are not vegan. You know?
Yeah.
It's because you realize just how fucked up it is what we do to animals, and then you speak to somebody who does that, and you kind of explain, hey, it's kind of messed up and whatever, and people react in all sorts of ways. I have lost friends because of it, because friends were like, well, friends, I would call them our acquaintances.
Yeah.
But I started telling them, hey, look, it's fucked up what we do to animals, and they said, you're not better than me or something. I never said that. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? You know, they take it very personally, and it's.
Right. People feel uncomfortable when it's just something they don't know about or that they can't relate to, which is often like an issue with people that are sober as well. You know, like you take someone out to the bar and they don't want to drink, and then the other people feel awkward for some reason. Like they shouldn't feel awkward. Everyone should still be able to hang out no matter what.
That's a very good example. The sober one is a very good
Yeah.
example. Yeah, it's exactly that. We live in a world that encourages people to drink alcohol, so being sober is a little bit
Yeah.
of a challenge, and as well as with friends, it's
Yeah.
the same thing being vegan. It's exactly the same thing.
Ah, yeah.
Nothing different. But that doesn't mean, you know, I think like all of these don't mean that you shouldn't be vegan. They just mean that people around it make it difficult to be, not,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I think it's depending on the area you live in too, can be a lot more vegetarian, vegan friendly than other areas.
Exactly.
So
Also, yeah.
if
I
you
don't
have
know-
options.
I haven't been to Colorado, but I think there's plenty of options also in Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's pretty progressive, right? So it's.
Yes, definitely. Like the Denver area is for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, this was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having this conversation with me. Let me give you some
Of
cards
course.
to help you. Are you a tourist here?
Yeah, I'm just kind of passing through for a few days on my way to Kenya, actually.
On your way to Kenya.
Yeah.
That's an interesting destination. That's cool.
Yes.
This is a map of vegan restaurants in Amsterdam. I recommend vegan sushi bar. It's here.
Okay.
It's really cool. We are where we are. We are Museum Square is here. We are somewhere here.
Okay.
The yellow, they're categorized by junk food, semi-healthy or healthy, so you can choose whatever you want. These aren't all of them. These are just some of them. There's more.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
And I recommend you watch one thing you have here. Oh, sorry. Just telling you all the resources that I'm giving you. Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan. Also go within your budget because they put you in groups and everything. And on veganfuture.org, you have a thing there called the most important speech you'd ever hear. If you want to watch something cool that explains eggs, because you didn't know about dairy, that explains eggs, honey, all of it. I think there's nothing wrong with knowing what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And then you get to decide if you want to participate in it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
It was
what was your
Callie,
name?
right? Chip.
Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Callie, and have an awesome day. Wait, let me give you also my a card with you have my social media here.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, more resources if you
All
need.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Whew. There you go. You see, some conversations should go like that. The resistance train. Sensi. Yeah, that was great. Exactly. Okay, everybody. It's still raining. I don't know if you can tell. Hi.
May I interrupt you?
No, yeah, it's okay.
Okay, what are we talking about?
It's a social experiment. Are you okay with the?
Yeah, no.
You okay with you being live from my YouTube channel?
All good, all good.
What's your name?
My name is Harry.
Harry. Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Harry.
meet you too.
So, how do you feel about?
Come on in. Or just hold this. It's fine.
How do you feel about animals?
About animals?
Yeah.
That's a good question, but what exactly? What?
Do
just
you,
a general opinion on animals?
Yeah. Are you indifferent to them? Do you like them? Do you respect them? Do you hate them?
It's a very good question. I honestly talk about this topic with a lot of friends of mine, also to my girlfriend. I honestly think that we as humans are literally on the same level as animals.
Yeah.
We have the rights that we have is literally. I mean, there's nothing about us humans that makes us superior to animals.
I mean, we're animals at the end of the day.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's
No,
literally what I
appreciate
think
that.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. So am I to understand that you do respect animals?
I
right?
do respect animals,
Okay,
and I
okay.
think like I'm as great or as stupid as an animal.
Okay, I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, do you think that do you consume animal products?
I do consume animal products, but it's all meat-free. Basically, I'm a vegetarian. I
Yeah.
don't eat dead animals, but I do consume animal products.
Do you think that in the production of dairy products or eggs,
Yeah.
animals are still exploited and used
Uh,
and treated like objects?
Not necessarily in all the cases, but I do think that they are treated as objects to a certain extent, but I do believe that consuming bioproducts or Freihandlung, I don't know.
Free range?
Free range eggs are, obviously they're better than the not factory produced, but like the mass produced, mass production,
factory farm,
factory
yeah.
farming.
Yeah.
I do think it's slightly better. I do believe that it's slightly less cruel, but I'm not confident in my statement. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like back of my head, I feel like there might be a bit of exploitation going on.
There's a
but
lot of it, yeah. Sadly, all of these labels, biological, free range,
Yeah.
they're mostly for the consumer
mhm.
and maybe for some environmental things,
Yeah,
but mostly
yeah.
for consumers.
Yeah.
They don't really mean anything for the animals, you know?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to
Oh, okay.
animals,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
for example, for eggs.
Okay.
Have you ever seen where eggs come from? Like what happens in hatcheries?
Yes, but not entirely. Like I walked past them, I stopped and I took a quick look, but I don't know the exact manufacturing process.
So what happens is all chickens, whether they go to small farms, large farms, or
Yeah.
factory farms,
Yeah.
they come from hatcheries. And
Okay.
hatcheries
Yeah.
is a place where a chicken hatches from an egg. That's why
Okay.
they're called hatcheries, right?
Okay.
So when an egg hatches,
Yeah.
there's a 50-50 chance that they're either be male
Yeah,
or
true,
female.
True, yeah.
If they're female, they go to those farms,
Yeah.
small farms, large
Yeah.
farms, factory
Yeah,
farms,
yeah.
whatever it is.
Okay.
And if they're male,
Yeah.
they don't produce any eggs,
I've
so they
thought
get
about
killed
this.
on their first day
Yeah,
of life.
I've thought about this, but I thought that doesn't affect the part of the sector which produces eggs for egg consumption, because I thought the eggs were the infertilized eggs.
Yeah,
so
they
don't
are.
have a sperm.
But the chickens that produce those eggs, for
Yeah.
every chicken that produces eggs,
Yeah.
there was a male chicken that was killed on
That
their
makes
first day
sense.
of life.
That
You
makes
see what
sense.
I
I
mean?
never thought about that.
Yeah, and also the female chickens, when they can no longer produce
Yeah.
an egg every
They're
day,
useless,
they get
basically,
killed.
for the
Yeah,
factory, yeah.
even if they produce five eggs per week,
yeah.
like it's insane. 5 eggs per week, and they still
Yeah.
get killed because it's not enough.
Yeah.
So this
But
happens.
what is
all-
the normal like frequency? How many eggs does that
So
chicken
a
get in a
wild
week?
chicken,
Yeah,
would have laid 11 to 15 eggs per year.
Per year. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
So these
one
chickens
in a
have also been. It's also another factor that these chickens have been selectively bred to
Yeah.
lay a lot of eggs, like an egg every day,
yeah.
and it's extremely taxing on
But
their
is
in their
selective
body.
breeding bad?
I mean, I would say it is.
I mean, because
yeah.
dogs are selectively bred.
I
Is that
don't like
cruel?
this. I don't. I
Really?
think it's
I didn't.
cruel
I have.
also.
I didn't
Yeah.
do any research about it.
I mean,
so I have
would
no
you think
idea.
selectively breeding humans is wrong? Just to choose a better color for their skin, or
That's
to
a
choose?
good way of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, but at the
We
end of the
selective-
day, what I assumed came by in the process of selectively breeding a dog is that they just don't breed the less useful dog. They don't kill it, do they?
Well, the thing
In
is,
the
we
process of-
selectively breed all animals, whether it's dogs, cows, chickens,
Yeah,
pigs, all of
yeah,
them. We
yeah.
selectively breed them
Yeah.
to suit our own needs, not
Yeah.
for their benefit, for our own benefit. We selectively breed dogs to be cuter and more docile and more
I mean, I
listening.
agree, but are they killing the, let's say, angry dogs? Not all the time, right? Like
Oh,
they.
you mean dogs specifically?
Yeah.
I don't think they are killing them, but all
Yeah.
dogs are used. For example, beagles are
Yeah.
used for testing on cosmetics.
Yeah.
Dogs are. People say they respect dogs,
Yeah.
but dogs are very mistreated
Yeah.
as animals because
Yeah.
a lot of people get dogs
Yeah.
and then they realize they don't want dogs, that it's
Yeah.
a responsibility, and then they throw
Makes
them
sense.
away.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dogs go through immense suffering and pain because they don't get fed. They get like it's.
Yeah, give me a second. Do you want to leave?
No,
Okay,
everything
cool.
good.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like for most parts, the domesticated animals are fairly well treated. Especially,
You mean
I would like to think, for
the
example,
animals we treat as pets. Because all animals are domesticated. Cows, chickens, pigs are also domesticated.
Throughout this process, I honestly feel like dogs were treated fairly well during the history of humans. Like since we've started domesticating.
Where are you
them.
from?
I'm from India.
India.
Yeah.
Do you not see stray dogs in India? You do?
I do.
Do you not see people kicking stray dogs in India?
not as much in reality. Like I've probably seen people kicking street dogs like once in my entire life, and on the contrary, 99% of the times people feed them. They're part of the society.
Sometimes, yeah.
So for most parts of, at least from what I have seen, of course in social media I do see like, yeah, people in India, they don't treat their street dogs well. There's people throwing stones. I mean, yeah, I do agree that exists. I'm not at all denying it. But the sad truth about social media is only the extremes get popularized. But
Yeah.
me, I've lived in India for like 21 years, and throughout this 21 years, probably like, okay, maybe 5 cases where someone threw a stone at a dog or like kicked it.
Either way.
But like the other, like literally I see dogs, let's say I see a street dog like 10 times in a week. 10 times is mostly it's nice. People just feed them, they're just happy on their own. If there's a pregnant dog or if there's a mama dog with like 10 puppies following her
But those are
around.
some cases you probably don't
They're
see a lot
most of
I
the
would say talk to
cases.
veterinarians to see, because veterinarians they
Yeah, I know.
experience a lot
I'm
of-
not talking about what the actual reality is. I'm just talking about what my experience
I
is.
understand
As a
that,
common
yeah,
citizen,
yeah.
as someone that's just having a normal life in
Yeah,
India.
but-
That is, and I would like to believe I'm pretty optimistic in this question, in this regard, and I would like to believe that is the reality. It might or might not be.
But your experience of reality probably thinks that dairy cows are okay, right? That they're happy.
I never said it. I don't think it's okay, but I honestly think that it is the fine line for me and my lifestyle. That's the best I could.
Why? Why is it okay for
Yeah.
dairy? Why is dairy cows okay, but cows killed for meat not okay?
That's a good question, because I mean, I wouldn't like to say fundamentally I believe it, but in some way I don't have I cannot find the right words, but I would like to think that fundamentally a little bit of exploiting, not just exploiting is a bad word, but using the nature is a part of nature. I honestly feel like, and also with respect to selectively breeding, I feel like we as humans are also a part of the cycle of evolution and just evolution in general, and like I'm not a biologist, but like the process of animals evolving, their purposes evolving, their genes like physically evolving and their purposes evolving. I feel like it's all natural, and we as humans can never be God and never come and say that, yeah, we are superior, so we
But
gotta
isn't
kill it.
animal agriculture literally against what you're saying, against nature?
I think
Animal
it's a-
agriculture is the opposite of nature. Is us taking an animal, breeding them. They don't
Yeah.
breed on their own. We breed them.
Yeah.
Us afterwards, after they breed, we use them for milk. We
Yeah.
use their milk.
Yeah.
We take their babies away, of course, because if the babies were to
That
stay
is-
with their mother, they would drink their milk. We kill their babies if they're useless to us. We kill
Yeah.
them when they no longer produce milk.
Mhm.
We literally treat them like objects.
True.
So it's not part of any nature
Mhm.
where we bring animals. Do you know how many animals are bred to life? Land animals, for the sole purpose
Bred
of
to what, sorry?
to life. Like they're brought to
Okay,
life
yeah.
by us in
Yeah.
animal agriculture every year worldwide.
Okay, yeah. So basically you're saying that we're just breeding them just for our case and then they'll die.
Not they'll die, we kill them.
But, I mean, we kill them, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so we could get our products.
Yeah. How many do you think?
What percentage of the cows?
Let's say, what percentage of animals do you think are used in farm animals worldwide?
Let's say for cows, I would say like.
Not for cows, all animals.
All
Well, animals. So, out of the whole animals that are on this planet,
all species,
disregarding humans,
All species.
disregarding humans,
including wild animals.
including wild animals.
Okay.
What percentage of animals do you think are used for animal agriculture?
I would say 5%.
It's
okay.
85 to 90%.
That makes sense because
or,
like
or
the,
95. It's insane. It's
That
like
makes sense. That
most
makes
like
sense.
80 to 90 billion land
Yeah.
animals per year
yeah.
are grown for us. 80
Then
to 90
I mean,
billion.
okay. Then what percentage of animals are in the class of prey, for example, not predator but prey?
I have no clue.
But I
doesn't
think
even
that
matter.
number is also pretty. Like for example, let's take a case study of the savannas, for example. The percentage of it, let's say there's like 10 species. I mean, I'm probably like way undercutting it, but let's say there's 10 species of animals in a specific region of our controlled case.
Yeah.
And I think 9 out of these 10 species are probably prey to that one species of animals. And I think the number of lions in that savanna is probably like 10, and the number of deers is probably like 900 or something like that.
Yeah, there's far more prey than predators. Yeah.
I think this also plays a role in the fact that there's a lot of animals that are being consumed.
But you know why there's a lot of prey and very little predators?
I personally think it's a combination of just natural evolution and also human society tailoring it to our needs.
Well, no, the reason why in nature there's a lot of prey and very little predators is because predators kill prey when they need to eat.
And isn't that like
humans don't raise animals and kill them when we need to eat. We
Yeah.
do it because we want to eat them. All these animals,
yeah, that makes sense.
we need to. All we
don't
need is
need them to
nutrition. We don't
survive.
need any of it. We can thrive on plant-based products.
Yeah,
We
true.
choose to do this to them, and all of these animals. When there's 80 billion animals, because I see what you're trying to say that. Well, in nature, there's a lot of prey and some predators, so it's only normal that we have
I don't
a lot
say it's
of animals.
normal. I feel like it kind of makes sense.
It
It's
kind
just
of makes
the
sense because of the same
ground
reason.
rules of
But
nature.
the difference is that in nature, all of those prey animals, they're all alive, and from time to time, one of them dies because the predator has to eat.
Yeah.
But in animal agriculture, all these animals are just killed and another one is brought to life, killed and another one is brought to life, killed. Like, these animals are not animals who live, they're animals who get killed and exploited. No animals in animal agriculture live past the age of 6. Though animal, like, let's put it this way, for chickens, for example, at what age do you think broiler chickens, which are the chickens grown for meat, at what age do you think they get killed? I'll give you a hint, they can live up to 10 years. So at what age do you think they get killed?
I'm assuming it depends on the type of farming. I'm assuming for bio, they probably live longer.
They do. It does depend on the type of farming, but a ballpark. I'm not looking for.
Okay, my assumption is that for bio, they live longer because they're not synthetically made to like bulk up faster. But for the regular cheapest variety
No,
of butter,
tell me for bio, for the best.
for bio.
Best
Okay, so
case
you said
scenario.
10 is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Lifetime, right? I would say my best guess would be around 6 or 5.
Years?
Yeah.
No. Usually, so for regular chicken, it's 40 days.
Yeah.
And for biological,
No
it's
fucking
2
way.
months.
No,
Yeah, something
no
like
way,
that. 2-3
no
months.
way. You're joking.
They grow.
So you're telling me since the egg hatches, it survives for 2 months, and then it becomes from a little chicken to a big, like ready to lay eggs, and then
yeah, because
ready
we
to like
selectively
serve.
bred them to grow.
So in
sec-
2 months, 2 months, it becomes from a just newly hatched chick to a egg-laying chicken,
Not
which
egg
lays
laying.
like
Not egg laying, because the
the
chickens.
broiler ones are purely from meat.
Yeah,
That makes
there's
sense.
different
That makes
species.
sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I
Yeah.
have never eaten meat in my life, by the way. I've never.
That's good.
Yeah, in my entire 24 years, I've never eaten a single meat product.
But as we were discussing, for dairy, for eggs,
Yeah, I
like
agree, I
animals
agree.
still
I'm
get
just saying that
exploited
I
and
don't
used,
know about
yeah.
the broiler chicken, the terminology,
But
but
do
that
you
makes
thi-
sense.
Do you
Yeah.
think that we're respecting animals when
Definitely
we're choosing?
not. Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But I feel like since the last 20 years, the trend is going in the good direction. So
It
I would
is,
like to
yeah.
think that we as a society are doing the good steps. And one thing which I don't like about, I'm not like saying you are the bad guy, but one thing I don't like about the people that are on social media that are trying to put in the idea of saying, hey, less meat, go vegan, go vegetarian, let's not do this. The problem with that is it low-key affects the cause itself. It causes a hate for the society, because I feel like this is a drastic decision. You know that. For us, human
I know.
society, to completely become from a meat-eating society to a completely...
We never were a meat-eating society.
Yeah, I mean, like, right now we are.
Right now we are. In the last 50
That's what I'm
years
saying.
we
So
became
right
one.
now, from this state to transitioning to a largely vegan society, it's a hard thing, let's be honest. I mean,
For society.
practically, I'm saying practically.
For society, but
Yeah.
for each individual, I don't think it is.
I think so too. But what I'm trying to say is that when someone is trying to preach their idea and someone has to change from being eating meat like 5 times a day, 5 times a week, no, sorry, let's say roughly 10 times a week to, let's say, 2 times a week, it's a drastic decision. Let's be honest. You know
But
that.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In a not that far ago,
Yeah.
100, 200 years ago, there was slavery.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rampant around
Yeah,
the world, not
yeah,
just
yeah.
US,
Yeah,
everywhere,
I agree,
right?
I agree.
In those times, the whole society was dependent on slavery.
Yes, correct.
Should we have not stopped
No,
slavery,
no,
or should
no,
we
no,
have
you-
said?
You're cutting me off. You're
Yeah.
understanding me wrong. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. All I'm saying is it is a big event in our society and progress towards a peaceful life.
Us was abolishing slavery.
I agree. It is a big process. It is a big decision. All I'm saying is a decision for a person to transition into a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever, it is something that the person has to have by himself. He has to get that. He has to realize that.
But even if you watch a video online, nobody's
Yeah.
forcing you to go vegan.
I
If
know,
you,
I
you
know.
have
I
a
know.
conversation
I mean, yeah,
with
but
the person, nobody's
I agree.
forcing
I agree.
you to go
What
vegan,
you're doing is
you see what I
perfect.
mean?
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you are the villain. That's
No,
what,
I know
that's
what
what I
you mean.
mentioned in the
I know what
beginning
you
of
mean,
the
but
conversation.
I know, I have fellow other animal rights activists. I know people who fight for animals. I know some people get a little bit emotional. I know some people get a little bit tense.
Yeah.
Reality is, the discussions with people, it's.
Yeah.
You
I think
talk-
this is the best form. I personally would think
I appreciate
having a
that.
conversation, having a practical solution about the facts
Yeah.
is way more important. That's what I mean.
But not everything works for everybody. You should know that.
Yeah.
Like you might appreciate this, but there's people who I have had who come to me and say, "I don't care. I'll kill as many animals. I don't care. I'll eat as many animals."
I think
Like,
that comes from that comes basically from the big amount of people on social media that are on the extreme side of what you're trying to you're trying to preach, and I do think that there are extremes on both the cases, and both the extremes are kind of the assholes of the.
Sorry.
I can hold it. I can hold it. I
okay.
can hold it. I got it. I
Okay,
got
it's
it.
just the wind.
No, I got it for you.
Yeah.
So
it's not raining anymore, by the way. You can look in the water. It's not raining anymore.
Loki is kind
Is
of
it?
spraying it. Yeah,
Oh,
it
it's still
definitely is.
raining, yeah.
Yeah, come in on
Yeah,
here.
okay, I was checking.
So what I'm saying is the extremes are kind of like ruining the cause itself to some extent. Like, for example, there's some guy that came into your live feed probably, and he was probably screaming that, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go get a burger from one of the shop here. I think
yeah,
he's
there's a lot of people who
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like, he's probably, I mean, yeah, but I would like to think he doesn't necessarily mean to do harm to the animal. Like, he's probably not a psychopathic guy who wants to see that process of
No,
like,
he's just
getting
being
into-
ignorant.
They're just being ignorant, yeah. And I do think that there are also ignorant people in let's say, I'll include myself in this, like our community of like animal friendly community that are enforcing and expecting people to believe their ideology. Not, I mean, ideology is the wrong word, but their school of thought, their train of thought. Instantly, they would like to think like the moment you are forcing them to like not eat meat, they would expect the other person to be that way, and I think that is a wrong approach as well. Like I said, this is a big decision. It has to come in by themselves. I personally think that.
I think like.
Yeah.
I could tell you a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far into
Yeah,
this.
maybe-
I can just tell you a little bit like there is a strategy to it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we need some people to get triggered. We need some people to learn the reality. We need some people to get in there and say, "Oh, fuck, what is this guy telling me?" You know why? Because we need some people to get angry and to look into it. The reality is if you're nice, if
Yeah.
you say message nice,
Yeah.
most people will say it's boring, I don't care, I don't want to watch it, I don't want to learn about it.
Yeah.
So in order to change people's beliefs, you need to trigger them a little bit. That's the sad reality about how we are as a species.
Yeah.
But
also another thing that the fundamental premise of this conversation is that I respect animals.
Yeah.
Some people might not.
yeah.
And I personally think
but you
that
gotta go vegan if you respect animals. Otherwise, you don't really respect animals.
I agree. Okay. Yeah, I agree to that. But what I'm saying is the definition of respect. Literally, you just said it.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the definition of respect is very subjective for everybody.
Yeah.
We all live here for 70 years, 80 years. We all gain our experiences. Obviously, everybody carries their own ideology. The same topic applies with religion. If you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, it's
It's a
all
difference.
self-formed opinion.
There is a
honestly
difference
think-
with this because, and I'm sorry for interrupting you
Yeah.
there. There's a difference. You can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, but
Yeah.
the minute that your belief is oppressing somebody else, that's
Yeah.
when it's an issue. So when your belief that it's okay to eat whatever you want is oppressing somebody, and that by that I mean an animal,
Yeah.
then
I mean,
think
why
it's
are we
not
stopping
okay.
with animals? Why are we not stopping with bacteria? For example, coronavirus,
Because
it
there's
has
a-
its
the-
own life.
because,
So why did we let
Well,
human
viruses
society
don't have viruses are not alive, first of
Okay,
all, but like
okay.
bacteria are, let's say.
Okay.
But the reason why we are where we're drawing the line is
yeah.
sentience. Do you know what sentience is?
I've heard of it, but can you
So sentience means the capability to have emotions, to have
Yeah.
a subjective experience. It
Okay.
literally means
Yeah.
that the individual that you're looking at, there's
Yeah.
somebody behind those eyes. There's somebody who experiences the world.
I mean, that's a very good topic. I would love to talk a lot about it, but I would like to. I'm in a little bit of hurry. But what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
I'm also freezing, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. So, the thing is that I personally believe that human life and emotions is just one part of our life. For example, this little fence here, it probably has a different aspect of life and we cannot understand it to the same level
No,
of
but
ours. For
subjective
example,
exp-
let me finish it, please. So, for example, the concept of seeing color, you can only describe it to a person that can see colors, that has cones and rods. You cannot explain the color red to someone that is colorblind, for example, no matter how hard you try. What I'm trying to say is that the fine line that we draw about the sentience, like the creatures which can experience feelings, that is just one aspect of our life, and I don't think we are much
I
superior.
don't care about
than-
feelings, by the way.
Yeah.
I care about subjective experience, and what I mean by subjective experience means I am the subject of my own universe.
Yeah.
You are the subject of your own universe.
Yeah.
All animals are like that.
Yeah.
Bacteria is not like that.
Yeah.
Bacteria doesn't make choices based on what they want, based
mean,
on how they wake up. And I know you're gonna say we don't know that, but we do know that. The subjective
yeah,
experience.
we do know that, but the way that their life works, we don't know that. We cannot
We do
think
know
the
that
way that a
because
bacteria
subjective
thinks.
experience
Yeah.
is an emerging property of brains.
But
you
we
have
are
to
just
have a
limited.
brain.
We are just limited to the way that we think. We think that the bacteria should or for example, or show characteristics that we can respond to.
They're
like for
mechanistic.
example, we cannot understand something that we don't have the apparatus to
But
understand.
we understand enough to know that they are mechanistic. They are
We
not
never
making
know.
choices.
Let's be honest. We
but
never
there's science
truly
behind
know.
it. It's like we can't
I agree,
deny the
I
science
agree,
behind
I agree,
it and
but
say
all
that
science
we
is
never
based
truly
on an
know.
initial assumption based on our initial
No, science doesn't
assumptions.
work like that. No, so science that's a common misconception that we think that we make an assumption and we try to prove it with science. That's actually the opposite of how science works. Science works with either observation and drawing conclusions from it, or with you having an a theory
Yeah.
and you try to prove the opposite of it. You don't try to prove the theory because when
True,
you're trying to
true,
prove the theory,
true.
you're
I
just
agree.
doing.
I agree.
You know,
But all of this comes with the bias that, I mean, to some extent, like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of too complicated to explain this like the way that I'm thinking about this particular problem.
I understand
like,
what you mean,
yeah.
but you gotta understand that subjective experience and emotions and all of this, all of the emotions, sensory feelings, everything we have, they contribute to the subjective experience. And I'm not saying we all have it the same way.
Yeah.
As you said, a blind person may not experience the same way the world that I do, but they still experience the world. They still are subjects of their own world.
Because we are still talking about the perspective of humans and the world that we see as
No,
humans.
same as all animals. Animals also experience the world. They also still are subjects of their own universe, right?
I agree.
They still make choices. They still
So
want
that's
to
why
be
we're
in a
drawing
relationship or not.
That's why we're drawing the line between animals. For example, why are we stepping on this ground? Like, ground has its life. Are we disrespecting the earth by like walking on it?
They're not sentient. Ground does not have feelings or capabilities.
I know. It was just a radical example, but what I'm trying to say is that everything in life has its own way of perceiving life, and by that I also mean sentience and
Not
non-sentience.
everything perceives the universe or life.
In some way, in its own language.
A chair does not perceive
in its
the life.
own language, in its own way of
Not
life.
everything perceives it. Like, I understand you want to mean that, but when I mean perceiving it, it's not just literally taking data in.
Yeah.
It's literally taking data in and making decisions about their wanting, their needing, not just based on the data that they're taking in, but also based on who they are as individuals, maybe as how they were born as a personality, maybe things they learned in the past.
This definition is basically giving a certain perspective to the chair. You know what I mean? So again, we are like cutting down the narrowing
But the
down
chair
the
is
scope
an
in terms of
object.
universe.
To think that we as humans are the same as a chair.
I think we're
to think-
diverging a lot from our base topic here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, like, the reason why sentience matters, the reason why sentience matters is because the reason why it's wrong to harm a sentient being is because they are capable of feeling that harm.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't be capable of feeling that harm, whether that is emotional or actual feeling, right? Like whether you're not influencing their life or not, far be it from me to tell you what to do to anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to go and fuck an umbrella, and I'm sorry for that, I just saw an umbrella. Like if you want to go and do whatever you want to do to anything else that will not feel that, I don't think it's wrong. I far from it. Like I think, but if that object being individual had emotions, had or has, when I say had, because I think it would be wrong to necrophilia, to have sex with dead bodies or stuff like that, right? If they had an individual experience, they were individuals, then they deserve the respect to leave their body alone. Body autonomy, that's all it's about. We leave them alone because we would also want to be left alone, and we would want only if we consent to it, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you for having this conversation with me, and I hope you go vegan because vegetarian is not enough.
I'm gonna have
for the animals.
I'm gonna have a good little thought to myself before I get to bed tonight.
Yeah. Let me give you a card to help you out with that. And I recommend you watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. I've written down here what to watch.
Got it.
You just gotta scan this code or go on this website and type in this code.
We'll do that.
Dominion will also show you some footage from India if you're curious about that.
I'll check that out.
But it's pretty gruesome, so that's why I recommend the most important
thank you
speech
very
you'll
much.
ever
And
hear.
you are that chip guy.
Yeah, I'm that chip guy.
It was nice meeting you.
Hey, nice
Have a
meeting
nice
you.
day.
And I hope you also got something from the conversation. I didn't get to hear your opinion too
I'm
much.
definitely not a vegetarian or a vegan. I agree with all you said, unfortunately, and I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. It's like, yeah, I mean, we eat them because we want to, but I also feel, yeah, you guys think different that we don't need to eat them, but I feel like
It's not that what I think. This is science.
like the vegans. I don't.
I think we'll
to be
just
honest,
keep
I don't
going
really
round and
have
round
a. I don't really. I didn't really have a big research about it.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, but also like I didn't grow up like that. Like it's
I
kind
also
of
didn't.
also.
I grew up eating meat, so.
Yeah, sure, you're right. Like I said, I don't want to be hypocritical. I just eat
But
them
aren't you
because I
being a
want to.
hypocrite when you say you respect animals, but at the same time you're forcing them into slaughterhouses?
I mean, yeah, I cannot say anything about it. I'm sorry. Like I mean,
We'll
I
just keep going
think,
around and around. It's alright.
like,
Let's go.
If we
get
want to,
food. I'm hungry.
okay. Just last things I think. Like I think in future if we I know there's like bio meats and stuff. If we find stuff
Not bio meat. I think you mean the artificially
like
cultivated
artificial,
meat.
like vegan meats, like
Vegan.
sorry, not
That's
bio.
what she
I'm so
meant.
sorry.
As long as no animals are exploited, I don't care. You know?
Yeah, like in the future, if we can replace the real meat with these, I would
But
obviously
you can already
switch.
do that. There's plant-based
I mean,
options
that's
now.
what I meant.
tried them,
Yeah.
but
and
I
that's-
just like some of them are really like realistic to the real taste, but not all of them are like that. And
So
I don't.
choose the one that are realistic.
I just don't know how like with like food-wise how like nutrition they are, you know, like. But like I said, I don't have my personal research on it. I may also be wrong.
You have also here, I'll give you also a card.
I'll give that.
It's okay, I give her a card also. If you scan this code or go on this website, Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, they help you go vegan. If you say you respect animals and you don't want animals to be harmed for you, give that a try. It's free, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'll check it out, sure. Because I kind of watched a lot of these vegan meat eaters debates.
Yeah.
I just don't really have a very certain opinion about it. I know it's like not nice and it's hypocritical. I just don't.
It's
really
about the animals.
know,
Like, I don't care what you eat. I literally, like, if you want to eat healthy, eat healthy. If you don't want to eat healthy, don't eat healthy. I'm not here to tell people how to live their life. I'm merely telling people that your lifestyle is causing victims and you have another choice. That's all I'm saying. And
But
you
I
could
think
choose.
overall, I just want to ask you a question
Yeah.
about all of this. Do you think overall we as a human society are progressing towards a good, like a better world in terms of this particular topic that we're talking about?
I think so, yes.
Yeah,
I think
and,
so. I don't
and
think
I do think that like let's say you guys as a part of this society that's trying to promote this idea, you should also be proud of that, and we should also be grateful that we are moving towards it. I mean, by that I mean like we have to.
Yeah, we celebrate each moment.
We
don't
have
get
to
me wrong.
celebrate.
We
That's what I
celebrate
mean.
each
We have
moment.
we have to celebrate and we have to be proud of how far we.
But
I mean,
we
like,
also
you
have to
guys
keep
come.
fighting because the sad reality
That's
is that
true, but there's never a perfect world. That's what I personally believe.
there
There's-
isn't
it
a
doesn't
perfect
exist,
world,
and
but
it will
we're
never
not
exist.
we're not even at the point of saying that the world is good for animals because less
I
than
definitely
less
think
than
that it
2% of less than 2% of people are vegan worldwide. 98% of people exploit animals.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
We
But 2 is better than 0.
Obviously, but
and 2 when compared to 8 million people that we exist, I think it is a big number.
It's
I
a big
honestly
number.
think it's a big number, and I honestly think we should give us a bit of slack and like not give us a bit of slack and like forget the goal, but give us a bit of slack and be grateful, take a deep breath, and keep moving towards pushing.
that's
this
what
goal.
we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we stop fighting, right? We
I know,
continue fighting.
I agree.
We
But
celebrate
the
what we
problem
continue
with,
fighting.
The problem with not the problem, but like this, the sad part that I think about this community that is trying to protest the ideas is they're always picking up the extreme examples and they're totally leaving the fact out that we have come such a long distance when we compare
But we can't leave out the
I
hard
agree,
part.
I
I know what
agree,
you mean,
I
but if
agree.
somebody comes on TVs and says women are pieces of shit and women should be used as objects, then obviously somebody should come up and say, hey, no, that's not true. So when somebody comes up and say, hey, you need to eat animal products because of this and that, somebody needs to come out and say, hey, no, that's not true. You don't need to eat animal products. Animals are exploited for you, and you can stop.
Yeah, but yeah,
So,
true.
It's a little bit of fighting misinformation at the same time. There's nothing we can do. We live in a world where misinformation is getting more and more rampant.
Sadly
So
true.
on one time, animals are being, the number of vegans is a little bit growing, but the number of misinformation is also growing, and we got to fight that also. So it's hard to say what the best case scenario is. But
Makes sense.
Hey, thank you for having this conversation with me. I'm sorry, but I'm freezing. And have a good one. And
And when
are
I
you
said
guys
we're gonna
tourists
have-
here?
Yes.
We're tourists.
Okay, let me give you a map also. So
No, we're good. We're leaving tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, but this is all the vegan restaurants in Amsterdam. Not all of them. Some vegan restaurants. We go to vegan sushi bar. Come on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll remember
I'll
that
take
name.
one. I'll
Alright.
take
I'll
one.
take one. Yeah.
I'll take one. Why not?
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants around. Why not?
maybe.
No, don't exploit any animals. Come on, make
Of course.
right
But
choices.
I was gonna say when I say we're gonna go have food, we're not gonna go have a nice.
We're not
warm
gonna.
hot
We're gonna
hamburger or
have.
whatever they're called.
They're
We're
not
gonna
gonna
have
have
some
meat.
soup.
Yeah, but you
Nice
at least
warm
get
soup.
some nice vegan
Everybody
soup.
go have some nice warm soup and enjoy it.
Vegan soup.
Vegan soup. Keyboard. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, we're done. My feet are frozen again. It appears that the shoes that I have bought still allow me to freeze, and it's not raining anymore. I don't know if it's raining anymore. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have subscribed. If you're not subscribed, hey, subscribe. Come on, hit that notification bell and subscribe. Give me some love. And thank you so much for everybody who donated. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for all the moderators. Blink twice if you need help. I don't need help. And thank you for everybody who's been here. I hope you had learned something from it. If you're not vegan, go vegan. Stop exploiting animals. You see, I try to talk to people in all sorts of ways so that you at least understand kind of all the perspectives, including we need to get you warm battery-operated socks. I do have those, Peg. I don't have them on me. I actually have some socks that they say that they keep warm. Apparently not good enough. Yeah. Either way, you have heard all the arguments. You have heard everything. Please, just go vegan. There's no reason not to. There's no reason. If you're not vegan, I'll tell you right here. If you're not vegan, you are supporting animal abuse. What do you want to call yourself? Do you really want to sleep at night thinking of yourself as a person who pays for animals to be abused or exploited? Watch Dominion. As Jeremy says, watch Dominion. That's a very good one. Like, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful thing. And yes, watch Dominion. Good one. Thank you, everybody, for reminding me. Watch Dominion. Whew. Have an awesome day, everybody. I'll see you. I'll be back definitely on Sunday. But maybe also before that. I don't know. It depends on the weather a lot. But Sunday for sure. So, yeah. Bye, everyone. Subscribe. Bye.